What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0, and the smiles are back on our faces. What a day, what a night last night. Unbelievable performance, unbelievable effort put in by everyone involved against the top Liverpool side, top of the league, barnstorming the league at the moment. And it was, you know, everyone goes talking about the Carabao Cup, but it was a strong Liverpool team yesterday. 100%. You know, Jota played instead of Luis Diaz, but I mean, it's pretty much like for like in terms of quality. Salah was there on the right wing for them. Van Dijk was playing at the back. You know, they had Alisson was playing in goal. They had their first strong team out there. They clearly wanted to win last night. They clearly wanted to take something back to Anfield, but Spurs said no. Spurs said no. Lucas Bergvall said no. And
not tonight.
Not tonight, man. And it's just like this. You're looking at the cups at the moment. The Carabao Cup, Man City dispatched of, Manchester United dispatched of, and now advantage Tottenham against Liverpool, the best of the lot, the best team in the country, potentially in Europe right now. We're looking at their Champions League form as well. Advantage Spurs in the Carabao Cup.
It was a gargantuan effort, I think, last night. You could see when the final whistle went how the players dropped to their knees. I think a lot of the players, I think Solanke just completely dropped to the floor yesterday with just exhaustion, and what was an incredible effort he put in. You know the way, obviously we'll talk about the goals and the game, but you know the way he was still running up until the 90th minute, battling for every single second ball. I think they really put in a massive shift. They really dug in deep, and look, they got the result. I think that the effort deserved, and I thought it was a fantastic game. I thought it was a really interesting game of football, and I thought Spurs really put everything into it, and there were some massive performances, some coming-of-age performances, some debuts. It had it all yesterday, and it was some bit of controversy as well. We'll get into it all, but it was a brilliant day. And look, it was probably as good as we could have expected yesterday, given the circumstances going into the game.
You know what? It was as good as we could have expected yesterday with how we were feeling coming into the game. However, at the full-time whistle, at the final whistle, I was kind of feeling we could have done more in that game, actually. We could have taken more goals. We actually could have gone to Anfield with a bit more of a buffer. That's how well we played.
We played brilliantly, and obviously, given the fact that Porro misses that chance, Solanke has that goal ruled out from offside, there's a bit of you thinking, could we have gotten that second goal? We had possibilities, but I think, look, you got to take the 1-0. Going into the second leg, we're going to have players back. I'm now hearing that if we make a new signing, because they aren't registered for the first leg, they can't play in the second leg. I don't know if that's true, but I'll get confirmation on that if anyone in the chat will know. But that'll be a shame. So maybe any new signings can't play, but obviously we will have players back for that second leg, especially some defenders, Richarlison probably as well.
Suspended boys as well.
Suspended boys. So it gives us a much better fighting chance. And look, we saw, I guess we'll get into what we think of the second leg later, but we saw Man United get a draw there just before we played them. So it's not impossible to go there and get a result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at the first half. Well, first of all, the lineup that we played. I was very happy when I saw the lineup. Lucas Bergvall starting, because I didn't think he would actually go with Lucas, because just an 18-year-old, and look, he's played very well. He's completely deserved his chance, no doubt about it. But I just thought he'd go for more experience in the middle of the park. And credit to Ange Postecoglou for putting Lucas Bergvall in there, because he deserved it and he flourished. He absolutely flourished in that game. And I thought as the game wore on, he was just getting better and better, more confident, nicking the ball off Alisson, putting the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, maybe he could have got sent off as well. Well, he probably should have got sent off for a double booking. However, the first one probably wasn't a booking. But what a performance from Lucas Bergvall yesterday. But you're looking at the first half, in terms of chances, you know, there was one big chance to them, one big chance to us. I thought we had the better of the chance with Dragusin, you know, forcing Alisson into a good save. Maybe he should have done a bit better with the header.
What was their big chance? I don't remember it.
Yeah, I'm not sure but the stats say they had a big chance. But I thought the first half was very pensive, wasn't it? Very tight game.
Yeah.
I thought both teams were probably as good as each other. But because I thought we had the better chance of the game, I thought we might have just edged that first half.
Yeah, I think it was a very close game. I thought we started really well, pressing high. I thought we were winning the ball back in some really good positions without really making the most of it on a number of occasions. I thought, you know, we were so aggressive, we were getting in their faces. And then, obviously, we had that corner, and obviously, look, Bentancur goes down. Look, it was a weird situation, and there was a bit of a eerie feeling. Obviously, during that period, he was down for about 10 minutes, clearly out cold, and everyone was kind of fearing the worst at that point. Luckily, it seems he's okay for the moment. Obviously, he went to hospital after. Did give an update after the game with a smiling face with his partner. So seems as though it's not something too serious at the moment. But look, we don't know everything. I was watching a great video actually. From a doctor who did like a breakdown of the incident. You know, people giving all because there's a lot of people on social media, in my opinion, very stupidly giving a lot of different theories about what could have happened in terms of, you know, well, was he with his jaw and all these different things. But the doctor, look, I watched a breakdown from the doctor who did a breakdown of the incident. He said it's pretty clear what happened. He said there shouldn't really be any controversy. It's pretty clear that when he went for the header, he fell in a very awkward situation and his arm didn't break his fall and his head completely smacked the ground. And it caused a concussion, and that probably knocked him out. That's all that really happened yesterday. I don't think there's anything more to say. That was his professional opinion. Obviously, it's not foolproof. Maybe there was something before, but he said from what he could see, he also analysed the images before and didn't see anything particularly out of the ordinary, in his opinion. So he thought it was just a concussion, and that would rule him out for about a week. Obviously, if that is the case. They are still checking. Let's hope for the best. Obviously, let's hope he's absolutely okay.
Yeah, I've heard that he's continually to get checks over the next couple of days, and Spurs aren't allowing him back to training until they get the green light from the doctors.
Yeah, you got to be very careful.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
but look, that clearly
the poor guy just can't catch a break. That's the really annoying thing and worrying thing from Rodrigo, because it seems to be. Long injury, comes back, Matty Cash takes him out, and then, you know, he's out for ages again, comes back, suspension after suspension.
Well, he came back first day of the season, got a concussion, didn't he,
that's
Leicester.
true as well. So,
first
I mean,
day of the season, the
guy just can't catch a break.
7-game suspension, then comes back, gets another 1-game suspension, rules about Newcastle, and now he's got this. So, yeah, he can't really get any momentum in his game. I feel for him. I think this season we've seen glimpses of him getting back to his best, but he just can't seem to be available for long enough at the moment. Look, let's hope he's okay. We're obviously wishing him the best, and let's hope he makes a full recovery as quickly as possible. But obviously that moment I know it was only 5 minutes in, but did kind of take the momentum away from Tottenham a bit after a really strong start.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes in he went off, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was quite a strong 5 minutes from Spurs, obviously, but it did take the wind out of ourselves a bit, and it became a very kind of bitty game in that first half. There wasn't really much between the two sides. I think both teams kept each other at arm's length, I would say. I mean, the chance I remember for Liverpool was there was a shot on the edge of the box from Salah, which went wide. Gakpo had an effort, which he cut inside. Again, it was from a tight angle. I'm trying to remember this big chance. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't know who would have had it. So, yeah, I don't remember maybe someone in the chat can jog my memory. I don't remember the big chance Liverpool had, but obviously the one we had was from Dragoshin. We had a couple of counters. I remember Decky was flying down the right-hand side on a couple of occasions, but didn't make the most of it. There was obviously that one moment where Kinsky plays a lovely ball over the top to Sonny, and he takes it down beautifully. But again, I think he plays it then to Johnson, who then cuts inside, and his shot was blocked. But I guess the first half, the main talking point was Kinsky, because he was getting some really nice early touches. He was playing some lovely passes. There was that one moment where Jota runs in behind, and then Kinsky's backpedaling, and you think, oh God, is he in trouble? He's panicking. And he was just so confident. He just lobs it up and just picks it up. It's like, wow, I've never seen a keeper do that.
I've never seen actually something like this before, because literally 3 days ago, no one in that stadium would have heard of who Kinsky was.
Yeah.
Literally nobody knows who he was, right? And a lot of criticism was coming in for the signing, saying, why are we signing a keeper? Brandon Austin's had a good game. We've got Josh Keeley there, you know, and why are you signing a 21-year-old keeper? Vicario will be back in a couple of months. Just go with Brandon Austin, an academy goalkeeper. We've signed Kinsky. He's come in and he's captured the hearts of the fans straight away. Literally, straight away. What a perform! I've never seen a debutant goalkeeper perform like that.
There was one moment he just picks up the ball and he clips it over to Spence on the left-hand side, just confidently just clips it, and now you just hear the whole crowd go, whoa. I've never seen anything like this before. Just a keeper confidently clipping out to a fullback. Like, we've been starved of keepers being comfortable with their feet for so long. Lloris, as much as a great keeper he was never so comfortable with his feet. We know that. Obviously Vicario, I love Vicario, one of the best shot stoppers in the league. I don't even think he's bad with his feet, but
he's not this level.
Yeah, I've always said, again, he's still he still plays like a goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. I mean, he is a keeper, so no surprise. But when you see Kinsky with the ball at his feet, this guy's like an outfield player. He's like a central midfielder playing with the ball at his feet. It's absolutely incredible. And actually, the way it changes our setup, because first of all, you can see there were moments where he was literally in line with the centre backs, like pushed up, which also completely changed our build up. And as well, I really felt like we were a lot harder to press when he was on the pitch, because Gray and Dragoshin had no hesitation playing the ball to him, and he was just basically like another outfield player on the pitch instead of like Vicario, who in time we've seen him make mistakes with the ball at his feet. And I'm sure Kinsky in time, given enough game time, will probably make a few mistakes as well, but I think it's more the technique he has with his passing range. Vicario still passes it like he's a goalkeeper passing out. It doesn't play it like those drilled passes or those lovely clip passes where it's right into path, and just really good technique on his passing range. And it was something wonderful to see on the pitch, and to do that to that level, having 3 days training and coming straight into the final right in a semi-final against the best team in the world probably right now, was something astonishing. And that first half was really, I think everyone was sold after that first half. He barely even made a save. Yeah, everyone was sold on that first half. I'm looking at some of the stats and some of the shots. So I think that big chance they're talking about was, I think McAllister had a header from a free kick, which was an easy save for Kinsky anyway. But his handling looked pretty good by and large. He did have one semi-spill where Gakpo had a long shot.
There was a couple of them.
I mean, there was one from Gakpo, but I mean, it was very close to his body anyway, so I don't think he was in danger of following up. So I think his handling looked pretty good. He was catching most things as well. But most of all, it was his confidence with the ball at his feet. And that is something, even though we've praised Vicario with that element to his play, Kinsky was just another level.
Another level. At 21 years of age, to be this confident and have this much quality adds so much more to our game, like you're saying. So I'm so excited to see how it keeps going. And you're looking at the game this weekend, right, at Tamworth. When we signed Kinsky, everyone was probably thinking, you know what, we'll put him in at Tamworth, see how he does. But now we're saying, let's give him a rest at Tamworth and use him in the North London derby.
And look, it was a big call from Ange. A lot of people said it would have been the wrong call. A lot of people saying you should stick with Austin. He had a great game. But
that's what I was saying before the game.
He chucked him straight in, and he had confidence. I always felt he was going to do that because you signed him, you decided to rush the deal in January. You don't do that if he's not going to play, And look, it was a big decision.
Yeah, but there's playing, and there's playing 2 days after you've signed against in the biggest game of the season against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And there's two different things there.
Yeah, but if you think he's the better keeper and you've signed him for that reason,
you'd think you'd give him a bit of time to settle, though. Obviously, it was the right decision to put him in. I'm not saying it wasn't. Obviously, it was. But I'm just saying the thinking behind it, when he signs.
Yeah, well, and I was watching some of his interviews after the game, and he said one thing that made me chuckle a bit. He said, I've had 2 training sessions with the coaching staff, and I'm slowly getting to grips with the pace of the Premier League, and I'm starting to work out. It's like, mate, it's been 2 days. What do you mean slowly? This is very, very quick, and you're absolutely mastered it within 2 days. Look, I know it's only one game. You don't want to go completely overboard, but I mean, clearly he's a confident lad. Clearly he's someone who had no qualms about playing his game within straight away coming into the team. And look, it's only one game, and
if he carries on in this trajectory, does Vicario get back in the side?
No. If he carries on this trajectory, absolutely not. I think he's more perfect than Vicario. Now,
for the system, he suits it better than Vicario. He really does.
Based on one game, I think it's hard to say.
Based on just how good he is on the ball, because we need that element.
But again, it's one game. I know. Look, clearly that's why we signed him. So we knew that going in that was his biggest strength. So to see that firsthand. I'm not saying it's not a surprise. It probably is a surprise to see him do it to this level straight away, but it's not a surprise to see that this has been his strength. That's for sure. But obviously, look, being a goalkeeper at this level, there's more to it. We know Vicario is one of the best shot stoppers, I think, in the league at the moment. I think he's incredible, that element. And I know it's only Liverpool, and I know he did make a couple of really good saves yesterday, but we'll have to see how he's tested over a long stretch of games. He's going to have it because he's going to be starting.
It was a great save at the end from Nunes.
It was. And he's going to have that game time because he's going to be in until March time, till Vicario's back. And also, it's a great thing for Vicario because it means we don't have to rush him back. And it means he can take his time and wait till he's fully fit. Whereas before, we probably were counting, like, when is he 50%? Because we need him back. But yeah, look, brilliant debut. And Yeah, I thought the first half, anyway, we're still on the first half, that was probably the shining light, was just seeing him into the team and how confident he looked.
Yeah, absolutely. And, half-time comes, and I think for the first time in ages, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, we don't actually need any changes at half-time. We're doing all right here. We're doing all right. And, second half comes.
Just defensively, we
looked assured. We just looked calm, measured, assured. No erratic behaviour. I thought Dragoshin and Gray were marshalling the line really well. Spence was dealing with Salah. Pedro Porro, I think they did get in that side a couple of times, but I think Pedro, what he was giving us on the ball as well, was absolutely brilliant. And obviously the two goals that we scored, the offside one and the Bergval's goal, both came from Pedro Porro. Unbelievable ball playing ability round the back. The first one, I thought Solanke's so unfortunate to just drift a tiny slither offside. It was such a tight call, wasn't it? Such a tight call.
Yeah, it was very close. Obviously, before that, we had that chance where Bergval closes down Alisson. He closed him down twice, actually. And how you saw Postecoglou doing his best to, pep impression at that point, falling down to his knees at a missed chance. I think he knew at that point.
Is that Porro's miss?
Yeah.
Porro, he's got to score that.
It was a big moment in the game. It could have been a costly moment, really, if we obviously don't get the winner. But at that point, obviously, Bergval, that goes from the fearlessness to running from Bergval, the high pressing that Ange instills in this team, never stop running. And Bergval just went hell for leather at Alisson. But what was great was he obviously went for the first one, just misses it. But Alisson, for some reason, doesn't quickly get rid of it. He just dawdles again. And Bergval doesn't give up.
Tenacious, man.
Yeah, he just doesn't give up.
Tenacious, Bergval.
And he wins it again. It wasn't. If you actually watch it back, it's not a mishit pass from Alisson. Under pressure, it's Bergval nipping in and actually winning that ball. Falls to Porro. His first shot was blocked, and then falls to Bergval. And by the way, brilliant composure in that moment from Bergval, just to slip Porro in at that for the one-on-one chance. Because I think a lot of players in that position maybe panic and go for the shot themselves or pick the wrong thing, or even get the pass wrong. But he just slips it straight into Porro. And yeah, Porro, I think the dink was the right decision in terms of the finish, but just got it wrong.
Execution was just all wrong.
Could have pulled it back, I guess, for Solanke, but I think the finish was the right thing.
With the quality that he has, in that position, you back Porro to score 9 times out of 10. That's the reality. And it's just unfortunate he screwed it just wide. It was a poor finish, but a right idea, in my opinion. And you're looking at Bergval's performance, I think that was pretty much the perfect display from him. Pretty much.
Perfect midfield display.
Perfect midfield. He was tenacious in the middle. He was aggressive. He was winning the ball back. He was creative. And obviously he got the goal as well. So, I mean, what more can we ask for Lucas Bergval yesterday?
What was also amazing is the fact that obviously because Bentancur went off, we had no midfielder. So we knew he was going to play 90 minutes in that game. As long as he could stay on the pitch, that was. And thankfully he did. But we knew he was going to play 90 minutes. And he just didn't look like he was getting tired. I mean, I'm sure he was, but he looked like, again, he's got unbelievable capacity to run. He looks like he's got unbelievable stamina. He looks like a real physical specimen. And yeah, he's got quality, he's got passion, he's got aggression. And I thought yesterday was definitely his best performance in Tottenham shirt.
By far.
Even against Southampton, I thought in that game, I thought it was all right, but I thought it's still playing within himself a bit. But yesterday, he really came to life. He really showed what he can do. He really took authority on the pitch. And maybe it's because he needed to with the absentees we had and knowing that it was all kind of, we were very reliant on him yesterday, and he really thrived under that pressure. And to do that, 18 in a semi-final and against Liverpool on such a big occasion, exceptional.
Yeah, it really is. And you're looking back to the summer business now. We're all saying how poor the summer business was because Gray and Bergval weren't getting too much of a look in. But now the injuries have kind of opened up a gap for these two guys to get consistent minutes now, and they're really flourishing, aren't they? Both of them. Archie Gray continues to amaze us with these centre-back performances week in, week out. This time, he's got Salah on that side. He's got to deal with Jota. I mean, he's got to deal with some of the best players in the world, and he's doing it with just no sort of fuss whatsoever. Calm, composed, just goes about his business in like it's normal. This is not normal what we're seeing from Archie Gray. Definitely an 18-year-old at centre mid doing what he's doing, along with Lucas Bergval, two 18-year-old kids. just strutting their stuff and calmly beating the best team in Europe right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought the confidence as well, that moment where he strode forward past like 2-3 Liverpool players and then played a beautiful ball the outside of his boot out wide to Decky as well, setting Tottenham on another attack. That moment like convinced me, like, I didn't need convincing before that, but that moment really showed like what unbelievable ability this kid has, and he's going to be an astonishing midfielder once he gets playing in that position. But to do that, playing at centre back again on that occasion, to have the confidence to stride out at the back of them and have the bit of the quality to play that ball out wide as well, it's absolutely brilliant. And look, they kept him and Radu keeping a clean sheet on that occasion. Who would have thought going into that game we'll keep a clean sheet? No one. And I thought we probably deserved the clean sheet in the end. I know Liverpool had a couple of chances, but I thought in the end of the day, I mean, even the chances they had, they weren't like absolutely gilt edge. I thought they still had to work hard for those chances, and I thought by and large we defended impeccably. The whole unit was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we had a bit of luck with Radu's goal line clearance, but again, if that goes in, that's a world class goal from Trent. It's not like that's bad defending, but brilliant from Radu to clear off the line. I thought the whole unit was much more kind of compact and much better on this occasion than maybe in previous weeks. And look, you got to remember, this is as much as we've criticised them over the past few weeks, this is a unit that's very new to each other, playing with each other, you know. And these are players who haven't played together in a back four. Some players never played in a back four.
Well, to be fair, I mean, like, they've had to learn on the job over the past couple of weeks, because, like, in a short space of time, they've played quite a few games together, haven't they?
Yeah, but I'm saying that since they've come into the team, right, we've been critical of them, but they've been kind of cobbled together, and we've tried to make a back line out of this team, and they've got no relationship together. They look
like a real back line now.
And now, like, I mean, look, let's be honest.
Yesterday, anyway.
Well, to be honest, I think give them a bit of credit over the last few games. I think the defensive side of the game has been getting better. I mean, I know Forest we lost, but again, they had very few chances for us. I think Chris Wilby kept him very quiet. You looked at the Wolves game. I thought the Wolves game, you look at the 2 goals they scored, one was from outside the box and the other one was from a very tight angle. Like, it's not like the Wolves had loads of chances. The Newcastle game, they got back in the game because of that handball. Yeah, and I thought obviously there was a period where they were cutting us open, but I thought by and large, again, look at that second half. Defended very well, limited them to very few chances, and then yesterday another brilliant defensive display. So I do think our defensive game has been improving over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle, we did concede quite a lot of chances, particularly in the first half. I mean, I thought Jacob Murphy was giving Spence a torrid time. I mean, you're looking at that performance and last night, I think it's night and day. Yeah, second half was better.
We barely conceded a chance.
I don't think that was down to the defence though. I think it was down to.
Of course it was.
I don't think so too much. Why?
Because they defended extremely well and prevented Newcastle creating chances.
I don't think Newcastle really had too much ambitions to attack that much in the second half.
I disagree. I think it was our good play. I think it's easy to say that. I think we limited them. I don't think they looked at that. Again, look, I don't want to relitigate.
Do you not think it was more the midfield and the attack, like doing really well, winning the balls in those
and our defence
areas
as well. They were being very aggressive, and they had to be, and they were mopping up anything over the top. And I thought we were keeping Isaac quiet for sure. Our defence deserves a lot of credit. I thought it deserved a lot of credit in that game, and I do think over the past few games, obviously this was a new level of I think Kinsky really helped that. I think Kinsky really helped bring it to another level. But I think over the past few games, I know we haven't been getting the results, so maybe we haven't been getting the credit. Maybe they should be. But I think our defenders have been doing a lot better. I think ever since that 6-3, really. Ever since that 6-3, I think our defence has been a lot better. And I think...
it's been better than that game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's been better in general. And I think maybe because we got the win, it's starting to get a bit more credit now.
Yeah, well, let's hope that they can keep on in this kind of vein. And because we've got a big game at the Emirates coming next week. And if we can go beat Arsenal next week, bloody hell, then some sort of narratives might start to shift and change. But, still a long way to go in that aspect. But... another guy I want to talk about is, I mean, touched on him a little bit before, was Jed Spence, because he did get open up quite a lot in that game against Newcastle. This time coming against Mohamed Salah, who's the best player in the Premier League, potentially one of the best players of all time in the Premier League. And literally, I remember turning around to you at one point in the game and being like, is he even playing, Mo Salah? Because I just didn't notice him whatsoever. And that's such a big credit to Jed Spence. I thought he locked him down for the majority of the game, and he was such a powerhouse down that left-hand side, getting up and down the pitch. And again, I'm going to say it's probably a bit boring now, but why has this guy not been playing for more minutes for the majority of the season? It just doesn't make sense in my mind. the more he plays, the better he gets. And yesterday probably topped the lot.
And we said it even though we lost 6-3 to Liverpool, and I know Salah scored 2 goals, but we said it, I don't think it was down to Jed, defensively anyway. Like, we didn't think like Salah was beating Jed for fun or he was getting the better of him. In fact, I thought in a lot of the duels, Jed was winning them. I think probably Salah was making use of some of the other defenders who were not having the best day. I think Jed on
Probably Archie that day.
Yeah, Archie and Dragoshin, but I thought both had a bit, mares, and I think he was taking advantage of that. But I thought Jed himself didn't have a bad game, and I thought from his point, he kept Salah quiet from his part, but I thought, other players didn't. And on this occasion, other players weren't making the mistakes they were in that game, and Jed pretty much had a very similar performance, but because the whole backline was a lot more consistent and stable, he shone through, and I thought he was defensively anyway. I thought it was brilliant. Going forward, look, it was hard for him. I still think him being on the left, it really hampers him going forward. He clearly doesn't want to use his left foot, and I think what hampers him the most is when he gets to that byline, he just doesn't want to cross it in. He keeps wanting to cut back on his right foot, and by that point, the chance has gone a lot of the time, because a lot of the time when you get to that byline, that's you creating the space to whip the ball in. And we see it when he's on the right-hand side. When he gets that space, he's looking for the cutbacks and he's looking to whip it in. But when it's on the left-hand side, he just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't trust his left foot. And look, that's the unfortunate thing of him being on the left-hand side. That's the drawbacks of him being there. But on the flip side, I think defensively, he's very good. He's still very accomplished in his defensive game because he's physical, he's fast. I think he won 7 of his 10 duels yesterday, which goes to show how effective he was at keeping Salah quiet. And I thought it was another brilliant defensive display from Jed, and fair play to him, because it's taken his time to come into the team. And there's a lot of people saying now, even when Fidoghi's fit, does Jed come out? Like, a lot of people saying that Jed needs to stay in the team. And look, at the moment, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I would keep him in the team. I think he's earned that spot just as well as, the likes of Lucas Bergvall are completely earning their spots. Kinsky after yesterday as well. If he carries on in that vein of form, these guys are providing real competition for places in those areas. But albeit Udogie's not going to be back for another 2 months. So Jed's got a kind of free rein at it for a little bit.
Talking about Porro quickly though, we said, he missed that chance, but credit to him, because the 2 big moments after that he was central to.
Yeah.
Because he played a brilliant ball in behind to Solanke for the goal. What a ball that is, by the way. And we know Porro's capable of that kind of balls in behind. And we know, we've been saying it recently as well, that he's definitely been improving his performance, and his attacking output last few games has been going much better. Much better. And we're seeing that, the quality he's showing. And obviously I think the ball is for the goal. I know Solanke makes the most of it, but I think it's a very underrated pass from Porro. If you actually watch it back, there's a clip that Spurs released on their social media, the slow-mo. I don't know if you've seen it. They released a slow-mo of the goal, of
I saw
the
it.
whole build-up.
Yeah.
And if you actually look at Porro's goal, he actually very purposefully slices the pass, so it's drifting to the right-hand side. And what that does, it just slightly keeps the ball away from Konate, and it actually gives Solanke a chance to get there ahead of him. And obviously, it still needs Solanke to bully Konate a bit and get there first. But if it wasn't for Porro with that little bit of slice on the ball, just so it kind of curls away from Konate, I don't think Solanke gets there, and I think it's a brilliant ball from Porro, and obviously it leads to the goal. I mean, we didn't talk about the goal, but brilliant hold-up play from Solanke. The way he bullies Konate, who's, by the way, fresh, just come on, 5 minutes before that goal, right? He's come on to shore things up, by the way, because Slot was a bit worried about Tottenham getting chances, which we were creating a bit before that. So he comes on, he gets absolutely bodied by Solanke, who's running into himself into the ground. He's putting so much effort, and yet in the 86th minute, he's bodying a fresh Konate off the ball. Yeah, so impressively. But not only that, has the presence of mind to wait for the run of Bergvall, just wait for that, wait for him to find that space, play it right into his path, and an absolutely beautiful finish from Lucas Bergvall. First time side foot with power and with precision, and that is just elite hold-up play from Solanke.
Solanke absolutely took Konate to the cleaners with that. He had no right to win that ball. He had absolutely no right. And I can't praise Solanke enough for his performance yesterday. That is a pure number 9 hold-up play. This is exactly why we bought him. I would have seen us like to drift a few more crosses into him for him to header, but the work rate that this guy puts in on a weekly basis, week in, week out, it's just incredible, man. It just really is. And yeah, he should be getting a few more goals and goal contributions, even though it's not too bad.
He's got 18 goal GA
yeah, it's true. I'm talking about in the league, though. 7 goals and 3-4 assists?
5, I think.
Is it 5 assists?
Or FPL assists, I don't know what official.
Yeah, I think officials like 3 assists or something, maybe 4. Look, I would like to see a few more because he got 19 goals last season, and a lot of them coming with his head. So I want to.
I think if we were able to give him a break, put Richarlison in for a few games, we would see him fresher, Solanke more often.
Probably, yeah, you're probably right. But look, I don't want to criticise him because I think he's been brilliant for us this season. He's been a workhorse. He never stops running.
That goal
His
doesn't
hold
happen
up
last season, does it?
No,
That goal
not
just
at
doesn't
all.
happen.
Not at all. Not at all. And a lot of goals that we're seeing this year probably don't happen last season. And he's central to all of that. He's central to all of that. And he's been a brilliant signing for this football club. And by God, do we need to bring in help for him?
Yeah.
God, do we need to bring in help for him? Because we're risking just running him into the ground. That's the reality. With the work that he puts in, you see him more or less. You mentioned about how he just dropped to the ground at the end of the game. This happens every game.
Yeah.
This happens literally every game. So we need to bring in help. Ange says help is coming. And, all the rumours about Kolo Muani and Richarlison coming back as well. So hopefully help is just around the corner, but he needs it desperately.
Definitely. Hopefully he gets a well-needed rest against Tamworth on the weekend. But, he's been doing. I think he's doing a monumental effort, and I think he's only going to get better. And I think if we do get a Muani and Richarlison can stay fit, I actually think you'll see a better Solanke for it. And I think second half of the season, I think his numbers would improve. He'll be sharper in front of goal. And look, the way he took that goal, that I know was offside, but the way he took it, under pressure,
Brilliant
one-on-one, the way he got away from Van Dijk, and the way he just slid it under Alisson, brilliant.
This is Van Dijk, by the way, best defender in the Premier League.
I actually thought was having a really good game, Van Dijk, to be fair, and I thought Solanke did really well just to get anything out of him, because we know Van Dijk is one of the most dominant centre-backs in the league, but Solanke, obviously, he actually, he could have been sent off as well, Van Dijk, with a horrible challenge. You've watched it back. But I thought Solanke, look, he gave him a tough ride. I thought Van Dijk was actually doing quite well up against Solanke, but I thought in those last 20 minutes, Solanke really came into it and started really troubling that back line. And
he got rattled yesterday, Van Dijk.
He did.
He got absolutely rattled. At the end of the game, Bergvall goes up to him and shakes his hand, tries to shake his hand. He's next to the ref, and he doesn't want to shake his hand. He just wants to complain to the ref about trying to get Bergvall, he said he should have been sent off, when the audacity of Van Dijk when he should have been sent off as well. And look, I granted Bergvall could have easily been sent off yesterday. Easily. That was a late challenge, but the referee waved play on. It's
interesting. People are saying that Bergvall, that the referee played advantage. But actually, the referee, when the challenge happened, pointed at the ball, would suggest that he didn't play advantage. He just thought Bergvall got the ball. So that implies he got the decision wrong. However, when Slot spoke to the referee after the game, he claims that the referee said that he did play advantage, and because it wasn't a reckless challenge, you don't go back and book the player if the advantage is being played and the challenge isn't reckless. But I mean, either the referee made the wrong hand signal during the game, or either he did that, or he made the wrong call or he just was mistaken when he was speaking to Slot, and he forgot that he actually play on. He said that it wasn't a foul. Either way, as well, though, I don't think Bergvall should have been booked for the first challenge, because he doesn't make any contact with Diaz. I think Diaz goes over with minimal contact or no contact, and I think it was a bit of a dive from Diaz. And you actually see at the time, I remember we were looking at it, and Ange was going very angry at the time that happened, because you could see that there was no contact. So I think it evened itself out on that front, in my opinion. So, like, for people saying, maybe it shouldn't have been yellow for the first one, but once it's given, you can't overdo. You can't just not give him a second yellow for that, and you can't just say it evens itself out, because that first yellow becomes irrelevant when that second yellow happens. But they're kind of just saying it's okay for Spurs to be screwed over, but not Liverpool, essentially. That's what they're kind of saying when they give that argument. So for me, I've got no sympathy for Liverpool in that incident. They shouldn't have been booked for the first one, so the fact it wasn't booked for the second one when it should have been booked and it could have been sent off, I've got no sympathy for that.
And you know what? For all Liverpool fans looking for sympathy, just go and watch the first few minutes of the Champions League final back in 2019.
First 25 seconds.
25 seconds, exactly. So you ain't getting no sympathy from Spurs fans, that's for sure.
Of those kind of decisions.
You know what I mean?
But look, to be fair to Slot, he was very. I thought he gave a very good interview after the game, and he said, "Look, Tottenham got a bad decision on the weekend, and today they got lucky with it, so it evens itself out." And he said, "I'm not going to complain about it." So fair play to Slot for that.
I really
Van
like.
Dijk didn't say that though.
No, I really like Slot. I think he's a really good manager. He's dignified. So yeah, Arne Slot, he's doing an unbelievable job. But look, you got to give so much praise to the team, to the manager, how they dug deep. You know, obviously, I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying, "Ben, are you Ange in? Are you Ange out? What's going on?"
Still Ange out, man. Still Ange out. Sack him tonight, eh?
Because that's all I heard from Sim, and that's all I heard from Sean Butler after the game. Ange out, yeah, Ange out, Ange out. But look, I think you got to give praise where it's due, and like if I'm wrong on a situation, I'll always come on and admit I'm wrong. I still have the same concerns as I had before the game in terms of, you know, the long-term form of this football club, the tactical flaws that we've seen. But I think yesterday, Ange, you know, made changes. He made us a lot more solid, and I think he did adapt to a situation which we've all been calling for a long time. So as long as I see this happening, then I'll be happy to stick with it. If I said a few weeks ago I would sack Ange. I would sack Ange right now. But now we're 1-0 up in a Carabao Cup semi-final, and we've got to go to Anfield and potentially in a cup final. I think it's nuts to talk about sacking him right now. Now this game's happened.
Yeah, completely agree.
Nuts.
I think recently he has been adjusting. Unfortunately, we haven't been getting the results. I think he's tried different things. We know against Wolves we sat a bit deeper. Against Newcastle we had to change a few things, and I thought we put in a good performance. Like, I think he has been tweaking it. Unfortunately, if you don't get the results, you're not going to get the credit. And unfortunately, I think media narratives play a large part into how a lot of fans think, because all the media pundits and these experts and all say, oh, he doesn't adjust things, he just plays the same way and all this kind of stuff. And I think not saying you, but I think other fans, they just parrot that and they just copy what the media is saying, when I don't think it's true at all. I do think he's been changing it. I do think he's been trying to adjust, and unfortunately, because we haven't get the results, the same narrative plays out. He's not changing it and all this kind of stuff. I don't think it's true. I think he has been, and look, I think luckily for him on this occasion, he did get the result, and now he's getting the praise for doing the tweaks, when I do think he's been doing these tweaks all along, in my opinion.
Look, where I'm at with it right now, everyone knows what my opinions have been for the past month. Me and Sim, you've seen us argue and have loads of discussions about it for a while now. So, you know, everyone's going to say I'm absolutely bipolar and I'm crazy.
Well, Tottenham makes you that way, let's be honest.
Tottenham does. But where I'm at with it right now, after this game, you know, I don't think one game should be able to change your whole opinion on a situation. I don't think someone should be that easily swayed. However, now this has happened. Now this game has happened against a team of the quality of Liverpool. You have to give him, you know, fans that are Ange out, including myself, have to give him till the end of the season now to see how the second half
End
of
of the season.
End of the season.
I thought you were going to say second leg.
No, end of the season, to see how this season progresses. Because not only could we be winning a Carabao Cup, you can't sack him after winning a Carabao Cup, can you?
No, definitely not. I just thought you were going to say, like, if he got second leg.
Because I think
you were going to say.
No, because I get to my reasoning now. It has to be till the end of the season now. It has to be, because not only are we in the Carabao Cup on its advantage to Spurs in the semi-final, we've got the FA Cup to come, and we've got Europa League to come, and basically pretty much all the reasons.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, 100%. But I think this Liverpool game has changed a lot for me, because I thought we were going to get absolutely schmeissed yesterday. And if we would have got schmeissed yesterday, I'll be sitting here with the same opinion that I had last week.
Say to the camera, I'm fully Ange in.
I'm Ange until the end of the season, and then I'm going to have to reassess it, because as much as, you know, all my opinions that I've had before this game are still valid and still stay. All of them. Apart from that I'm willing to sack him right now. That's the reality. I still have the same concerns. The same concerns are still there. And this is only one game. And I do feel like that we raise our game. We raise our game under Ange for the big games, and the smaller games, you know, we don't have this kind of same mentality. And I think that yesterday was another kind of showing of that. You look at the last 5 games that we've won, 4 out of 5 of them have all been like against big teams. Against the so-called smaller sides, we're not really turning up in these kind of games, and I think we're losing games that, you know, we've never lost before under any other manager. You know, the Ipswiches at home and that kind of stuff. So, look, my concerns are still there. I'm not, like, you know, fully bought into what Ange, you know, the future under Ange. But right now we're in the Carabao Cup semi-final, one leg into the next, into the final. you have to stick with him.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. You have to stick with him. I think you have to see how this plays out. And if there's still, as I've always said, and I think even more so after yesterday for sure, if there's a chance this project can work, you'll be stupid to throw it away. And especially at this point when you're midway through the season, everything's still open. And clearly, he's still got the players on side. I think clearly, look, the recruitment, there's very holistic approach with the recruitment. You can see that yesterday with Kinsky. You can see it's right into exactly how you want to play, and I think they've done a great job there in recruitment. I'm interested to see who else we bring in this month. Look, it's a big month ahead. We've got some obviously massive games. We've got the FA Cup. We've got some 2 big Europa League games coming up where Kinsky can't play in, by the way. 2 big Europa League games. We've got some big Premier League games, and we need to turn our form around in that. But look, it's still all to play for in our season, and I think Ange showed yesterday we can still turn our form around. We can pull out big performances, and I've always said he's got to have till the end of the season at least, and that's the necessity then.
But in terms of like a long-term project under Ange and sticking with him for the long term, we need to see some consistency from in this second half of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course we do. Because otherwise, if we don't, we're going to be bottom half, and that's not good enough. So we need to have some sort of consistent results to get out of the situation we're in.
I don't think there's like a formula, or like if you say to me, if we finish here or if we finish there, he should keep his job. I think it's all about the way we play and consistent results. I don't like in the league. I don't think it actually matters where we finish. We just need to see consistency and consistent good performances.
Yeah, and I think it's important we get back into Europe one way or another. And if it means we're having to win a cup to do that, then so be it. But I think it is very important because I think this club needs European football, and I think it helps. I do think it helps. I know the amount of games has been a hindrance at times, but I do think a lot of these players has helped develop them and all these kind of things. So yeah, I think obviously look. As I've always said, I do think this team could be a good cup team. I don't see why not. The way we play, yes, we've faltered in the league at the moment, but there's no reason why we can't be a good cup team. We can blow teams away at times. We still play very good football. So, look, Europa League is still there for us. I really believe that.
So, yeah, last night, I was just like... Because all we want is whether you're Ange in, whether you're Ange out, whether you're this, whether you're that, Levy in, Levy out, all you want is what the best for Tottenham Hotspur is. And last night just made me so immensely proud of the team. Immensely proud. And it was just such a great performance. And if Ange can produce those kind of performances, and with that kind of team on a consistent basis, then we're onto a good thing here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just needs to be consistent. We haven't seen that. That's what we haven't seen.
Yeah, but look, young players still. I mean, I know it's 18 months in, so it's not that early in the project, but it's still early enough where you could say he's still got a bit of time, and I think you see the growth in these players, and I'm just very excited about what I'm seeing in a lot of aspects. And I know the results have been hard to take. As I said it after the Bournemouth game, and hopefully we're through the worst of it now. But we're going to have to go through a lot of pain over this next month. But I'm willing to go through it, and it's all about your pain threshold, I guess. And
yeah, I've got a very low pain threshold. I think my pain threshold is. I've just suffered too much pain over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
I get it, but I get the situation we're in. Let's just hope we can pull through. Look, let's talk about the second leg, because I'm very aware that it's only 1-0 and we are going to Anfield. And
we're going into the Lions Den, aren't we?
Look, 1-0 at the best of times is still not going to be a good enough result to keep Liverpool at bay, especially as well. Are they going to start the likes of Trent in the first leg? And are they, and I don't know what kind of momentum we're going to be in, what kind of momentum they're going to be in come the second leg. But it's Anfield. We've seen them be 3-0 down against Barcelona and win the second leg 4-0. We've seen them overcome the most incredible deficits. So by no means is this game over. By no means are we even favourites at this point still. I think everyone would still put Liverpool as favourites to go through even at this point. But the fact is we've still given ourselves a fighting chance. And the fact is we've seen Man United recently go there and draw. And we can we go there and just get a draw? I think that was what makes it so important, because I think going to Anfield and asking Spurs to win, if we would have been 0-0 yesterday, that probably is a step too far. I just can't see us going there and winning. But getting a draw, that's not impossible.
But this is exactly the exact reason why I said I wouldn't take a draw in the game yesterday. because I don't think that Spurs, if we wanted to get into the final, we had to win yesterday. We had to win. And that's all I was saying, was that I can't take a draw because of that aspect. You know?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I was just feared we were going to get battered, but luckily that didn't happen. It was quite the opposite, and it was a brilliant win. But obviously, if we would lost like 2-0 yesterday, then obviously you got absolutely zero chance, and obviously a draw is better than a heavy defeat. But yeah, look, we got the 1-0 win, and it was absolutely. It's a great. It was a great.
I was
win.
speaking to someone at half time, and I said to him, look, I'm not taking a draw. I wouldn't have taken a draw before half time. They're like, are you mad? How can you not take a draw against this Liverpool side? And it was like, a draw. If we draw, we're not going through into the final. So we needed to win yesterday to give ourselves a fighting chance. I think we should have won the game by more than 1-0, which is, a massive source of frustration for me, because it makes that game at Anfield a lot harder, because a 1-0 advantage going to Anfield means
any win for Liverpool. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which it either goes to penalties or we're out. So yeah, it's still a massive uphill task to go to the final at this point.
If I offered you penalties right now,
would I take it? I probably would.
Yeah, I probably would as well. I probably would take penalties with Kinsky in the form he's in. Come on, I'm taking pens.
Yeah,
but yeah, look,
it's going to be one hell of a night. But you know what? We went to the Etihad last season with all these injuries. We had Emerson and Davis at centre back, and we took a 3-3 draw.
Yeah, as I said in the post match game, it very much reminded me of that Champions League against City. Well, we won 1-0 in that first leg. You remember, they missed a pen, and we cobbled together a team. Like Wanyama was on his last legs, and I think we lost Harry Kane right at the beginning of the game as well.
Yeah,
it was very similar. We just needed someone to step up, and we just needed to keep it tight, and we just got that win somehow. Son right at the end got a goal, and we took a lead. We knew we had to take something to the Etihad, and then the Etihad just chaos ensued, and obviously we went through just by hook or by crook. We need just chaos to ensue at Anfield.
I do think we're going to do it. I just think there's something about Spurs in this tournament this year.
We just seem to find a way at the moment.
Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool,
Coventry. Go back to Coventry.
Coventry as well.
Goals.
Spence right at the end comes on and saves our blushes.
And Johnson 90th minute. Like, we've just found a way in this tournament so far, and maybe it's written in the stars. But I mean, the prospect of a Spurs Newcastle final would be something quite special. What a final that would be if that ever happened. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but what a final that would be.
Let's talk about that at the end of the game in a month's time, because I don't want to tempt fate, but I do think we're going to do it. And it's a daunting task going to Anfield and expecting not to lose, but Ange always wins something in his second year. So
that's what he's been consistent on.
Let's see what we can do. I'm confident.
It was quite touchy, actually. I don't know if you saw the foot, because I know that clip was going around in Ange's post-match interview yesterday, and he was talking about Bergvall, right? And he was saying, he wasn't lucky and he went through that. But if you actually listen to the whole thing, I don't know if you did, there was a whole Sky Sports interview.
No, I didn't.
The last question, and he said that the interview asked him, you're one step closer to winning something in your second season. You always win something in your second season, don't you? He goes, yeah, people can keep mocking me about that, but, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And so after the interview, I was like, no, I'm not trying to mock you, I'm just saying. And he walked out. So there's a bit of a touchy moment there. But, yeah, look, Ange seemed absolutely delighted yesterday, didn't he? And he knew what a big moment that was. It was very actually interesting to see the difference in reaction from Eddie Howe to Ange yesterday, because Eddie Howe was very much of the line of like, this is by no means game over. Like we go to St James's Park and we know it's only half time. This is by far game over. They're a very good team, and look, we're happy with the win, but we haven't done anything yet. But Ange was very much like, this is a very big moment for us. And
I think the difference is that Newcastle are obviously going through a really good moment at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's probably their best form in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Newcastle right now. Yeah, they've got Isaac in firing form, scoring bundles of goals, winning games, 6 games in a row or whatever it may be. Full team available. We, on the other hand, are going through our worst form under Ange Postecoglou. All the squad has been decimated, and we've just beaten the best team in the league. So I think you've got to look at both situations.
Brilliant. I'm just looking at a picture of Pat Jennings. I haven't seen this picture. Pat Jennings and Kinsky. They're doing.
Kinsky's got bigger hands.
They're measuring each other's hands. That's a brilliant picture. I have to show it somehow. But yeah, look, I'll try and get it on my on the reacts. See if someone's posted it. But yeah, brilliant.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is the match review. Spurs win 1-0 against Liverpool. Let's get into a few super chats just before we move on to the player ratings. First of all, welcome to Matt Card. Well, not welcome. He's a member. 40 months he's been a member for, and he says, gutsy performance. Come on, you Spurs. The Jorical, he says, did hell freeze over? Big adaptation from Ange. Absolutely.
See, I don't think it was a big. I actually don't. I don't think it was a big adaptation.
I think it was.
I don't think it was. I think he's been playing quite similarly to how we've been playing over the last few games. I just think we got the result in this game, and we didn't make the mistakes that we have been in some of the other games. I don't think this was a massive change to what we've been doing recently, in my opinion.
Interesting. Chang Ching Seong, big up Chang, says, couldn't have been happier and elated to chalk up my 5th consecutive pre-match pump-up show on We Are Tottenham TV with the clean sheet home win of that first leg. Come on, you Spurs, and big up to you, Chang, and big up to the watch-along crew. But yeah, let's move on to the player ratings, and let's start off with our new man, Antonin Kinsky. Sim gives him a 9. I give him a 10. What more does he need to get a 10 from you, Sim? Come on, man.
Maybe an assist.
I thought he played the game perfectly, coming in for your debut. If you would have asked pretty much the majority of people in that stadium and also watching on TV, nobody would have heard of him before the game or just before we signed him. But he's had 2 training sessions. He's come in. He's looked super confident at 21 years of age. The ball playing ability was just a level apart to what we've ever seen, in my opinion, from a goalkeeper in a Spurs shirt. He could just ping it anywhere on the pitch, and it was just no problem for him. I think he went for like 18 or 19 long balls on the day. I think it was like 9 accurate ones or something, which is just incredible. And I think he made a big save late in the game to keep us in it as well, from Darwin Núñez. And everything he did, I thought he did with confidence and quality.
Yeah, and it's astonishing to do that with 2 days training, 21 years of age, coming from a league, let's be honest, it's just not at the level of the Premier League, and doing it against the best team currently in the Premier League at the moment and probably in Europe. It's just incredible, and to keep a clean sheet on your debut in those circumstances is quite unbelievable. And the manner in which he did it, with the confidence of the ball at his feet, the passes he was spraying, just the way he kind of made us harder to press, because he kind of became like an extra outfield player. The way he came out the back and was just spraying passes left, right, and centre, and you can see the defenders had a lot more confidence giving the ball to him than they do our other keepers, which is incredible. And he did some great goalkeeping when he had to make big saves. He did 2 brilliant saves right at the end from Darwin Núñez, one in behind and covered the angle really well, and the other one, a great one-handed save after I think it was a back heel from Núñez inside the box, where it looked like he might equalise in the last minute. Brilliant save there from Kinsky as well. It was just pretty much the perfect debut from him, and I just couldn't be happier with how he started. You saw what a big moment it is after the game for him as well. You saw with his sister in the crowd, it meant a lot to him. I just thought it was astonishing how he performed on his debut.
There was a funny moment, actually, which we'll look into in Reacts, which we'll get into that a bit later, but his dad... Did you see his dad?
No, I didn't see that.
His dad was sitting behind his sister, or next to his sister, whatever. And when that moment when he hug, he gets his phone out and he's scrambling, trying to find the camera like this. He can't find the camera. And then he finally finds the camera and the hugs are gone. The moment's gone. I thought it was just a funny moment. But anyway, let's get into Jed Spence. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. Best performance in the Spurs shirt, in my opinion. I felt like he locked down Salah on that side. He was so aggressive, won pretty much every duel that he contested for. He just was so confident and aggressive on that side. He pretty much owned that side for the night, because up and down the pitch, such quality.
Yeah, I thought absolutely phenomenal from Jed, and I thought the way he just stopped Mo Salah from creating any sort of opportunities, the way he just locked him down was absolutely amazing. I thought he used his physicality so well, and I thought Salah, just whenever he came up against him, just wasn't even confident to take him on, just didn't have the beating of him, and I thought he was really, really brilliant throughout that whole time, especially defensively. I only marked him down because I thought on the ball, I mean, it's not totally his fault because he is playing on the left-hand side. I just thought, again, his reluctance to use his left foot kind of lets him down a bit sometimes, and there are some plays where I think if he had a left foot, we would have been in a much better position.
I think you're harsh, man.
And he doesn't use it. But look, that's not his fault totally. That's just the position he's had to play. But I think defensively probably near perfect from Jed, and under the circumstances, another really, really strong showing.
I think that is so harsh for you to knock him down for that one. He deserves a 9 or more, man. Spence was brilliant yesterday. But anyway, Archie Gray up next. 9s all round for Archie as well. What can I say about this guy? 18 years of age. By every game that progresses, he surprises me even more. He gets more confident and more confident, more assured, and he's actually just turned into a really good centre-back. That's just what he is right now. You know, he'd never played centre-back, I think, before joining Tottenham Hotspur. He started in pre-season at centre-back. Since the injury crisis, he's just been getting better and better and better. He drives through the centre of the park from that position as well with quality, sets up chances, and he's just so calm and assured when defending as well. So he is a top-level football player, and it's scary how good this guy can be.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence and composure he has is just a guy beyond his years. It's unbelievable how that situation where he's got the ball under pressure, he's got 2 Liverpool players around him. Most players in his position probably just whack the ball forward, just safety first, but he's got the presence of mind to just dribble it into the space, attack the space, bring the ball out, and carry the ball forward. And not only that, he has the quality to find like an outside of the boot pass to Kulusevski on the right hand side, set Tottenham up on the attack. That just shows the composure and quality he's got. And I thought defensively, making clearances, blocks, I thought his positionally, he's getting better and better. He's really learning that position, I feel, Archie Gray, and he's really growing into it. And I think he's starting to develop a bit of a partnership with whoever he's playing, really, with at the moment. And he's just so adaptable. And I thought he really helped Jed Spence on that side as well whenever he was under pressure. I thought he stepped into midfield when he needed to as well. I just think he's just such a clever player. I think he's it's remarkable the level he's playing at, considering all the circumstances, and couldn't be more proud of him.
Radu Dragusin, Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. Top performance from him yesterday. And I felt like it was a game that actually really suited Radu yesterday, because where you see Radu coming under a lot of pressure is when teams look to get in behind us and get round the back of us. I just don't think that happened too much yesterday. And all the defending was pretty much all in front of him. And that's what he wants, Radu. And I think in the air, I thought he was impeccable. Had our biggest chance in the first half. And in the second half, unbelievable block off the line from Trent. I mean, that pretty much kept it at 1-0. So you got to give him a massive credit for that. So I thought Radu...
Well, that was a 0-0, I think, wasn't it?
Was that a 0? Was it a 0-0?
Yeah, because we scored near the end.
That was near the end. I thought it was... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whether it was at 1-0 or whether it's a 0-0, it's still a top match-saving challenge, match-saving block. So, yeah, Radu was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal from Dragusin. I think especially his ability in the air, just clearing things away. He was a lot stronger in the air this one than he was in the 6-3, that's for sure, where he was beaten way too many times. Maybe because Szoboszlai wasn't playing. And I did say that. I thought the lack of Szoboszlai and his aerial presence, which really caused a lot of chaos in our back line in the 6-3, they lacked that. And I thought Radu really took advantage of that. I thought his... defending the amount of clearances he was making was absolutely brilliant. Again, still worried about a bit with his ability just to be a bit proactive and his ability on the ball when we're looking to build up, and he was a bit wasteful at times. He did actually play some good passes into Solanke, but I think by and large he was quite wasteful on the ball. I think his best pass was usually back to Kinsky. I think Kinsky's even a better passer than him at this point. But
I think that goes without saying.
I think
he's a much better passer than him.
I mean, Dragusin's a centre back. He's the one who obviously should be a better passer, given he's an outfielder.
The problem is that Dragusin is not a ball playing centre back. I don't think he fits the system, but I think yesterday he did.
I think he's still learning, and hopefully he'll get better. That's the hope. At the moment, he's still not there, clearly, on the ball anyway. But off the ball, really no complaints. I thought Jota had very little. I thought anything in behind, he was gobbling up really well. And he was a lot more comfortable playing it to Kinsky in this one. Maybe beforehand, he wasn't too happy playing it out with Forster. So yeah, I thought really top to play. And obviously that goal line clearance, you actually watch it back, and his defensive instincts I don't know why he thought to go on the line, because actually if you think about it, the position Trent was in, I think his first thought would usually be to get back in position to block a cross and clear it. But for some reason, he must have felt like he felt like Trent was going to go for a shot for some reason, because there wasn't really an excuse for him to go back on the line. But he must.
I think it might have been maybe Kinsky's positioning.
Maybe he just had some instinct. I need to go on the line at this point, and what an instinct it was, because that shot from Trent absolutely arrowed into the corner, and it was a brilliant block from him off the line. So fair play to him, because I think most defenders don't drop on the line at that point.
To be fair, like, it is the better decision though to go on the line, because even if Trent crosses it and someone else tries to head at it, he's still on the line to try and block it.
Yeah, so, but you don't want it if
you cover both angles.
Well, if he gives a free shot to someone in the box and it goes in, you're blaming him for not getting there and blocking it.
I do think that Kinsky's positioning let the shot open for Trent. So I think, and Trent's probably always going to shoot from that.
Yeah, so on that point of view, it's brilliant instincts from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up is Pedro Porro. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. Again, a top performance from him. I felt like he was probably the weakest link in defence, where, you know, a couple of times they got in on that side, but I thought on the ball he was a level apart from anyone in that back line as well. So 2 of our best chances, 2 of our goals, the offside one and the one that we scored from, all came from his brilliant playing out the back, or his brilliant, you know, just pretty much taking out their whole team with one ball. That's what he did twice. Yeah. And yeah, he's just a quality player, man. But he should have put it in the back of the net for the chance that he had early in the second half.
Yeah, that miss could have been costly, but maybe those, you know, without that miss, we don't have those 2 moments where he did really make the difference. Maybe he had to feel like he had to make up for it. But I feel like defensively, still pretty solid. I think by and large wasn't bad by any stretch, but obviously there was a couple of moments where Diaz, when he came on, gave him a bit of trouble, especially with the moment where that he nearly assisted Diaz when Kinsky had to make the save. I thought Porro, you know, got beaten there quite easily. There was obviously a moment in the first half where Gakpo cut inside and shot, but again, that would have been a great goal if he scored. But I think by and large, actually, Porro dealt with most that came his way down that side. And again, since he's had that week break, he's looked like a new man, and he's looked completely refreshed, and he's looked a lot fresher on at the back. So brilliant from him. And then on the ball, as you say, 2 brilliant passes in behind made absolute massive difference. One to Solanke where it was just offside, but a brilliant through ball. And I thought the slice on the ball, curved it towards Solanke for the goal, was what made the goal, what made the pass. And I know Solanke still had a lot to do, but he got given a chance by that ball from Porro, and I thought it was an excellent delivery from him. So fantastic stuff. But yeah, the chip, got to be burying that.
Yves Bissouma up next, 8 all round for Bis, and I thought it was a really good underrated display from Bissouma yesterday. Gets that yellow card, doesn't he? Doesn't faze him, doesn't take anything away from his game, and in fact he probably grew as the game wore on. I just thought it was such throwback performance. We haven't seen that performance from Bissouma in a while, and you know, he was so strong in the tackle in the middle of the park, and he was driving us forward so much from the midfield. And I think he added that element of steel that we needed in the middle of the park.
Absolutely. And again, it was actually a rare kind of really disciplined display from Bissouma, considering similar to the Etihad, he had an early yellow and those worries, you know, he has to walk a tightrope for the rest of the game, especially after that. Bentacle goes off, so we know Bissouma's going to have to play 90 minutes as well, on top of all that. And he's our most defensive centre mid, because he was partnered with Decky and Bergvall, where their defensive instinct aren't maybe as strong. So I thought he had to be very, very disciplined, but I thought he did extremely well. I actually thought with Liverpool's midfield, you know, Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch, who have all been having amazing seasons, weren't as good in this game. And I thought Bissouma was a big part of that. And I thought he was putting out fires. He actually made 6 tackles on the day, which goes to show how involved he was in the defensive side of the game. So aggressive. I thought on the ball, maybe he wasn't as good on the ball as I thought maybe when he came on against Newcastle. I thought he was a lot better. But I still thought he was pretty confident. I still thought he was, you know, wasn't a liability as we've seen sometimes he is. But off the ball was where he really earned his money in this one. I thought defensively it was fantastic. And look, if he performs like this every game, you know, you don't have a problem with him being the 6. It's just about getting this level of performance out of every game.
Lucas Bergvall up next. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him a 10. My man of the match yesterday. I thought he was incredible. 18 years of age in the centre of the park, playing against Liverpool midfield 3 of, who was it? Gravenberch? Who are the other 2?
McAllister and Jones.
McAllister and Jones, right? Gravenberch has been probably the best 6 in the Premier League this season. McAllister has been incredible this season as well, one of the best leading midfielders in the Premier League. And then you got Jones, who's been in and out the team throughout the season. Incredible performance from Bergvall. He pretty much played the perfect game, in my opinion, yesterday. Best performance by a long way in a Spurs shirt, and you're seeing the confidence grow. Like Archie Gray, but Bergvall came into it a bit later, so I think you're seeing the performances and confidence grow game by game by game by game. He doesn't get phased or overawed by any occasion. He's tenacious. He's aggressive in the middle of the park. He's creative. Laid one on for Pedro Porro, unbelievable pass from him, and then he has the presence of mind to arrive in the box and slot the ball in the back of the net to let us win 1-0. So I thought everything about him yesterday was pretty much perfect, apart from, he probably should have been sent off. But apart from that, I thought he pretty much played the perfect game. But it's just, it's just these things, isn't it, where you should have been sent off and then you score the winner 5 minutes later. It's just how things get written.
Written in the stars for him. What a performance. Coming of age performance, I described it as after the game. And I think that's exactly what it was for him. I think coming into the team at 18, we knew that... Look, I expected him to take a bit of time to just settle into the team, and I've been very consistent in terms of I've been really impressed with him when he's had games in Europa League and what I've seen from him so far in a Spurs shirt. For an 18-year-old to be adapting the level he's been in these games, coming from the Swedish league, I think he's been really, really good, and I think he has been getting the credit in a lot of the games he deserves, in my opinion. I think definitely in the last month, you're seeing he's really starting to fully adapt to the Premier League and fully adapt to Spurs in our system as well, with the cameos he's performing. And then yesterday was really like, okay, now let's see, when you're starting this kind of game, how good you really are. I mean, he had a great game against Newcastle as well, but this was like another level. And to do that against Liverpool, I mean, some people even suggesting a month ago he should be loaned out in January with some of his performances, and I mean they look very silly, those suggestions now with his performances, because yesterday he was absolutely astonishing. This is one of the top talents, I think, for his age, and now I think it's clear to see in midfield for sure in the Premier League. I mean, this is astonishing. What can't he do? David Ornstein described his performance as Steven Gerrard-esque yesterday. Big praise, big words from David Ornstein yesterday, but this is the kind of stuff, you see from much more seasoned professionals, that we saw from Lucas Bergvall. The way he was disciplined, the tenacity, the aggression, putting his foot in, the never say die attitude, the way he pressed Alisson for that chance that was created for Porro. Not only did he press him, he pressed him again, won the ball, and then had the composure to play a through ball through to Pedro Porro for the chip, set up the chance as well. A brilliant piece of play there from Lucas Bergvall. The way he took his goal, just unbelievable quality. Alisson didn't even dive because he couldn't get near it. It was just swept into the corner with unbelievable composure, unbelievable quality. Showed his finishing ability and shooting ability, which unfortunately we haven't maybe seen enough of since he's been at Spurs, unfortunately. But showed when he gets to the final third, that's what he's capable of. I thought there were times he's weaving away from Curtis Jones and McAllister. They couldn't get near him at that point with his ability on the ball. And off the ball, I know, look, he's still 18. Clearly, he's still a bit rash, and that challenge for the second
he gets
yellow.
booked pretty much every game.
Yeah, he does. We've said it before. Now it's his gamely booking. Obviously, I don't think the first one was a yellow, so I do think it was kind of evened itself out. The second one wasn't given, but obviously the fact that he's on a yellow and he made that challenge in the first place shows he's still a bit rash, isn't he? I think that's clear, and he's still got a lot to learn, and maybe he's a bit over exuberant at times, but this guy's an astonishing talent, and I just think we're going to see so much more game time from him now. It's clear if you can perform like that against Liverpool, I mean, Ange would just be stupid not to use him more from this point in. But I think, look, you got to praise Ange, because whatever you want to say, maybe he could have used him more before this, but maybe it's the way he's developed him that means he's putting in this level of performance against this level of position at this point. And to do that 6 months in at 18 years of age, I think you got to credit Ange for how he's developed him.
Yeah, it just depends on what the plan was, because I feel like these players are only getting a chance right now because of injury and because of the state of the squad.
Maybe, but I think the reason he's able to put this level of performance in is because how he's developed him, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that.
You look at the midfielders that he's coming up against. The Newcastle game, he put in a great display, right? Coming up against the physical Joe Linton, right? And then in this game, he's coming up against a Gravenberch and a McAllister, and he's kind of, is it literally exactly? So if he's putting in performances like this against these two, like, what do we have to fear putting him in against anyone?
Exactly, and. we've been praised. Look, Ange, when everyone's fit, he's going to have a hell of a decision to make. I mean, at this point, he might have to put Decky out wide just because he can't leave anyone out in midfield at this point.
Well, you got Maddison as well.
Exactly. I mean, he's got Sarr, who was in great form before. You know, on top of that, you got Bentancur and Basuma. You know, and now you got Bergvall in the mix, who you just feel like you can't leave them out at the moment.
I don't think there should be a settled 11. There should be, you know, depending on who you're playing against. Every player has different strengths and different weaknesses.
I know.
Right?
I'm just saying he's got a hell of a decision, like in certain games, especially like come the semi-final, or like when you get to like a final. Or let's say, God willing, we get to a final. Like he's got a hell of a decision to make at this point. If all these midfielders keep up this form, I mean, incredible.
Yeah. Let's move on to Decky now. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 6. It was really frustrating, but you can see the guy's running on empty at the moment. I think if Maddison was available, I think if Maddison was available, he probably wouldn't have played, and he probably would have started Brennan on the right-hand side and put Maddison in the middle of the park. But look, there were a few nice moments from Decky, and I thought as the game wore on, you know, he was winning the ball in good positions and good areas. But when he did get himself in those good areas as well, he just couldn't do anything, and he was just pretty much gassing out every time he got into good areas of the pitch, and that encapsulated right in the last minute where we actually get in behind them with Kulusevski. And then he just couldn't do anything because like everything he does just seems so laboured and so lethargic at the moment. And he needs a rest, big time. He needs a rest. And I would actually go as far to say I would start Maddison over him in the North London derby because he just looks out on his feet at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he had a week break, didn't he, before the Newcastle game, and still kind of looked a bit leggy. And he's going to have a break against Tamworth, hopefully. But yeah, he definitely looks like he's running on empty. He can't seem to have all. I mean, he's had put in so much energy before now, but at the moment, you can see when he's going for these long busting runs, the end product just isn't the same, and his passes are just a bit too meek. And look, it's not dreadful. Don't get me wrong; he's still providing for the team, but especially off the ball as well. There's some challenges he's pulling out of, or he's just losing out to second balls too often. I think when he's leading counter-attacks, he's just been caught up too easily, where beforehand he had a bit more energy to get away from people. I think when his final ball just looks tired a lot of the time. So, yeah, it wasn't like horrendous. Definitely still provided some stuff, but unfortunately, he just looks way too leggy at the moment, unfortunately.
I'm just looking at the games he's played. He hasn't had any sort of rest. The last time he's had a rest is 45 minutes against Rangers. He's played every game in December and 90 minutes every game as well. So I think this is just a circumstance of that, and I think he needs like a prolonged period. I wouldn't play him a minute against Tamworth, and I would use him sparingly against Arsenal as well. Let's move on to Brennan Johnson. 5s all round for Brennan. Obviously, he had to come on in the opening exchanges because of the injury to Bentancur. And what I think about Brennan is I think he worked really hard for the team. 5s all round, by the way. I think he worked really hard for the team. And he was, mucking in. He was running a lot and coming back and defending and doing really well in that aspect. But I felt like going forward, he didn't provide too much of a threat.
Yeah, offered little. I think he did his defensive duties confidently and much better than he's done in previous games. I thought he put in some really strong sliding tackles, a lot more aggressive. And from that point of view, fair play, because he had to muck in and do a lot of stuff. But I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember too much of a threat he really provided going forward. I mean, he had a couple of moments on the counter, but yeah, and a couple of moments where I think Werner was looking like he was going to put some balls in, and Trent was and Johnson was making the runs, but no one was finding him. But didn't really provide enough of a threat, I thought, up against Tsimikas on that side.
Yeah. Next up is Son Heung-min. 5s all round for Sonny. And yeah, unfortunately, again, another poor display, unfortunately, where I think he provided little to no threat. I think he might have created one chance throughout the game. But I expected better from him, coming up against Conor Bradley in the first half, and then later in the game, Trent, where you saw Trent got completely opened up against Manchester United. You expect Sonny to really take advantage of that, and unfortunately he didn't.
Yeah, to be fair to Son, didn't have the best game, we know, but even in this game where he didn't have the best game, it was his shot that led to Dragusin's effort that could have been a goal.
Yeah.
And as well, it was his cross that Solanke actually had a pretty decent chance in the first half where he forced a save out of Alisson, I think, or hit his own leg. But that was also a chance that Son created. So those were a couple moments, even in the performance where he wasn't at his best, where he still provided some sort of threat. But yeah, again, up against Conor Bradley, he had moments to really take him on and force the issue, and unfortunately just wasn't able to do so. And then I really thought in the second half just was a bit anonymous. And in fact, it took Timo Werner to come on for us to provide a bit of threat down that side in that second half. So
he just doesn't look confident at the moment, does he? He looks really low on confidence.
Last 4 games, his decision making has not been great. He's just hasn't been taking people on. He hasn't looked himself, and don't know what's been happening in the last 4 games, but definitely he's not in great form at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this game he just wasn't great. He still created 2 chances, so can't take that away from him.
And lastly, of the starting 11, big Dom Solanke, the Trojan, the workhorse, 8s all round from us. And you'll be hard pressed to find a guy in the Premier League that works harder than this guy, big Dom Solanke. He just runs himself into the ground literally every single game. And the goal that we scored encapsulated all of that. The way he had no right to win it off Konate. Konate comes on to shore the game up for Liverpool, to see out a 0-0, to go to Anfield and take a draw up to Anfield, right? But Dom Solanke, he bodies Konate. He absolutely sends him to the cleaners. And then he has the presence of mind to find that ball to Lucas Bergvall as well. So gets the goal as well, the offside goal. No one's really going to talk about it because it didn't count. But, he was just straight offside by a touch, literally a touch. And, puts the ball in the back of the net with real quality. But all day long, he was hustling and bustling, dropping deep, winning the ball. I just can't commend this guy's work rate enough. Not only does he have the work rate, but he has quality to match up with.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and I think everyone's falling in love with him at the moment. I mean, I think
fallen.
I should say, fall in love with him at the moment. I think I think everyone appreciates what he brings to the team. I think it's clear for everyone to see how much he provides on and off the ball. I thought, he had a difficult day yesterday. I thought Konate for a lot of that game. Sorry, not Konate. I thought Van Dijk for a lot of that game was getting the better of him, and he was struggling to really get any spare change out of him. But I thought as the game went on, he was wearing him down, and he was forcing mistakes, and he was getting little advantages when he can. Obviously, he had that one chance in the first half, which forced a save out of Alisson, and then it went back off him. But got away from Van Dijk on that one moment. And then second half, especially in the last 20 minutes, really came into his own. Brilliant forwards play, I thought, for the goal, which unfortunately got ruled out for offside, but a brilliant run in behind, brilliant touch and a brilliant finish. And if that goal scored, it's an amazing number 9's goal from Dominic Solanke. But the hold-up play, to do that in the 86th minute, to hold off Konate, to absolutely bully him and shove him off
fresh
the ball.
Konate.
Yeah, when he's just come on the pitch to shore up the game, he's completely fresh, and he's come onto the pitch to really make sure that Tottenham aren't getting more goals. And Dom, 86th minute of the game, he's completely run himself into the ground before that moment. Yet he has the speed to get away from the Konate, the strength to hold him up, the composure to lay in Lucas Bergvall. It's elite centre forward play at this level, absolutely elite. To do that against Liverpool as well shows what an unbelievable footballer this guy is.
His old club,
to do it against his old club, and unbelievable centre forward play from him, unbelievable assist. And look, we don't get this one, I don't think, if it's not for him. And I think he's absolutely astonishing. He just brings so much. I just can't wait when we get him a bit of help, because I think you'll see his level of performances go even up a notch. He'll get more goals, he'll look even fresher. And look, people want to complain about his output. 18 goal contributions in all competitions so far this season, and we're just halfway through the season. So this guy's on track for near 40 goal contributions in all comps, and that's nothing to be sniffed at.
Next up, and last but not least, the last player that we're going to rank is Timo Werner, who came on for Sonny with, what was it, about 25 minutes to go? 20 minutes to go?
Something like that, yeah.
6s all round for Timo. And I felt like literally after 1 minute of coming on, he probably did more than Sonny did, because he got the ball and he just started running at them. And that's what we needed at that moment in time. We just needed someone to run at them, because no one was doing it from either side, whether it be Brennan Johnson or Sonny. And yeah, there might not have been too much quality at the end of the runs, but it was giving Liverpool something extra to think about. And I think he added some good energy to the team when he came on.
Yeah, I think he had that one run, didn't he, where I think he really took on Trent. He beat him, and then he took on, I think it was Endo. He goes down the outside and beats him as well. And they're like, oh my God, Timo gonna do something special here? And then his cross goes into the side netting. And okay, this is classic Timo. I thought, look, he provided a bit more of a threat. We looked a bit more threatening when he was on, especially on the counters. We had a couple of counters where he was kind of leading the charge, and he put a couple of crosses in. No real quality to it, but definitely, at least with because of his pace, and I thought his position on that left-hand side a bit higher up, asking Liverpool a few different questions, gave us a bit more threat and allowed us to hurt Liverpool a bit more. But unfortunately, the quality just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Timo do this a lot, haven't we, this season, where he comes off the bench in the last 20 minutes and adds a lot of energy down that left-hand side, but ultimately not too much quality.
Yeah.
So we finished off on big Ange Postecoglou. 9s all round for Ange. Managed the game to perfection, in my opinion. The lineup, I think it's the lineup that we all wanted to see, with Lucas Bergvall at the heart of things in midfield. Look, he was hamstrung yesterday massively because you got Maddison and Sarr suspended. You got all the injuries that we have as well. Bentancur goes off after 5 minutes injured, which leaves us with no cover in midfield whatsoever. So everything was going against him yesterday, and he managed to muster up this 1-0 win, and we deserved it, and we probably deserved more than a 1-0 win yesterday, in my opinion. Got the team bang at it. I thought that tactically he got it absolutely spot on. And I can't commend him enough. I give him a lot of criticism where it's due. So when praise is due, you got to give him the praise as well. So massive praise comes for Ange Postecoglou yesterday, and he says he always wins something in his second season. Well, right now he's staying true to his word.
He's getting closer and closer with each game that comes. But yeah, I thought he brilliantly managed the game. I thought, obviously, I can't really say, he timed the sub well or anything like that, because he made 2 subs and one of them was forced 5 minutes in. So he was hamstrung a bit with the circumstances, especially with Sarr and Maddison both suspended. Coming into this game, he couldn't have asked for more problems as well. But he made a big decision, which a lot of people were saying they shouldn't have done, where he puts the keeper straight in, 2 training sessions in, 21-year-old, brand new signing, literally straight from his new club 2 days ago, and in a semi-final he took a look at him and he's like, I need this guy on the team straight away. He puts him straight in, and what a performance he put in. So Ange deserves credit for making that decision. I think you look at how Gray and Bergvall played in this game, 2 18-year-olds who have come from different levels of football, and one's playing complete out of position and one is adjusting from the Swedish league, and the way they're performing at the moment, I think he deserves big credit for how he's developed them. People say, well, who's he improved? You just look at these players on the pitch and how they're performing. You can't tell me he can't improve players. I think this guy has just developed these players astonishingly well, and they're playing at unbelievable level at the moment. Unbelievable growth. I think Jed Spence, brilliant performance as well from him. I just thought the team looked a lot more calmer as well. I think for sure there was the one difference I would say, if there was a difference, I wouldn't say tactically in how we set up or anything, but the one difference I would definitely say is maybe we weren't playing as much 100 miles an hour in this game as we have in other games. We were a lot more calmer. Definitely from throw-ins, I noticed it. Usually when we get a throw-in, we try and get it back in play as soon as possible, and we try and make sure we're trying to unsettle the opposition. But on this occasion, we took it a lot slower. We threw the ball back to the fullback, and he was taking his time over things, and we were a lot calmer from those situations and not making as many mistakes. So if that was one maybe change, I would say it was probably that. But in terms of the setup, in terms of how solid we were and how compact our backline was and how the wingers were digging in and all these different things, definitely was much improved. And we were still playing our football. We still played our football at times. And doing that against the best team in the league, still picking your moments to do it, is not an easy thing to do. And I thought he managed the game extremely well to muster that kind of level of performance and that kind of result under the circumstances on that occasion. Absolutely fantastic from Ange Postecoglou, and deserves a lot of credit for yesterday.
All right, so those are our player ratings from the 1-0 win at halftime in the Carabao Cup semi-final. We go and take a 1-0 lead to Anfield next month and see what we can muster up in the second leg. But let us know your player ratings in the comment section below. Let's move on, and let's move on to the 5 takeaways, where we see what 5 things we can take away from the game. And number 1 is our new number 1.
Maybe? Question mark. I think a lot of people are declaring him our new number 1. I think a lot of people are seen enough after 90 minutes. I think after 45, people say, I'm sold. Seen enough. Give him the keys, a lot of people are saying. Give him the gloves, a lot of people are saying. But look, yesterday, he made his debut after 2 training sessions. And look, we've waxed lyrical about him enough. I'm sure everyone's heard about what a performance he made. But look, on the end of the day, 6 saves, 4 saves from inside the box. He made completed 6 of his 19 long passes, but I think his passing accuracy 71%. I think it doesn't tell the full story of how comfortable he did look in general with the ball at his feet. Made 1 last man tackle, made 1 out of 1 ground duel as well. Didn't actually have to make too many high claims, but he completed 1 out of 1 run out, and obviously there was one moment where he was backpedaling with the ball coming towards him, and Jota hot on his heels, and he just lifted it over his head and claimed the high ball, and just did it so confidently. The way he was clipping passes left and right to Gray and Spence, and long passes to Son as well, and the way he just became part of like a back three in possession and allowed us to play out, and we just made us so much harder to press when Liverpool were trying to win the ball high up the pitch as well. I just thought already within a game you could see a different element to the game he was giving us, and couldn't have been happier or more proud of of a debut for Kinsky. First of all, 2 questions. Can you remember a better debut than that in recent years?
For a goalkeeper or just in debut in general?
I guess both, for a goalkeeper or in general. And does he have the number 1? Is he number 1 now after 1 game?
Yeah, I mean, look, to talk about number 1, I think we just need to calm down a little bit. Yes, it's an unbelievable performance, 100%, and I was blown away by what I saw on the pitch yesterday. I think the whole stadium was just in awe watching this guy, because we've just never seen that from a goalkeeper before, literally able just to ping it anywhere he wants on a pitch with high quality. But you got to remember what Vicario's done for us. You got to remember Vicario last season, Vicario this season, part of the leadership team now as well. He's such an influential member of the squad, Vicario, and he's saved us so many times. I think he's such an elite shot stopper, Vicario. However, I do think Kinsky, what he offers us on the ball, just adds a completely different element to what we're trying to do here. And I think he suits the goalkeeping role a lot more. But he is 21, and 21 is really young for a goalkeeper. And I think to show the level that he showed yesterday is just astonishing. It really is. But we have to see how this progresses, because it is just 1 game. So he's not number 1. But Vicario has got another couple of months still to come back. So Kinsky is going to have a lot of football. So if Kinsky plays like that pretty much every game until Vicario comes back, then the question mark really comes, because Vicario is going to have to fight to get back into the team if Kinsky keeps up this levels until then.
Yeah, and added to the fact that what he brings, which I don't think Vicario brings to the same level, and we've seen Vicario for long enough to know that in that 1 game, I don't think Vicario's ever had as good on the ball performance as that Kinsky performance, and that's been 1 game. So, look, if Kinsky does the goalkeeping parts right, which he did yesterday, then it's going to be very difficult for Porro to get back in this team. We could have a whole Ramsdale-Raya situation on our hands.
Yeah, well, there was only 1 clear winner in that one. But I think you're looking at the leadership ability that Vicario has, right? Marshalling that back line. He's always shouting, he's always talking, he's always screaming. I mean, I did see that from Kinsky yesterday as well.
Yeah, he wasn't shy about it, wasn't he? And I guess maybe it helps that his centre-backs are also similar age to him, so maybe doesn't feel intimidated to do that. But he definitely wasn't shy about barking orders, was he?
Yeah, exactly.
But to do that, again, 2 sessions in.
Yeah.
And he's claiming that he's learning it slowly. It's like, bloody hell, is this if this is slow? I'd like to see how quickly you can learn things.
He's got a master's degree in the Premier League already. He hasn't even had a Premier League minute. Next up, number 2 is Jedley King.
Yeah,
Jed, the redemption.
I heard this yesterday. I don't know if it was Sean who said this one, but I thought I had to use it. Jedley King. I love that. What a performance from Jed yesterday on the left, up against Mo Salah. Really didn't give him any spare change yesterday. I thought Salah really struggled up against him and struggled to kind of win any sort of individual battle. I think the numbers bear out as well. 7 out of 10 ground duels won, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 2 out of 4 dribbles completed as well. Passing actually 84%, but only 1 of his 3 long passes made. 2 tackles, 1 interception, but 6 clearances as well. And that's a really valuable statistic, because you know how many crosses Liverpool swing in, and you know that they, especially when Trent comes on, they really put you under pressure on that element of the game. They do put you under pressure with the balls they're swinging in with quality, and those 6 clearances were very, very valuable on the day from Jed, and that's something as well which I think Udogie maybe isn't as good on when he's on the pitch as I've seen Jed in. I think Udogie doesn't get in the box and get those clearances as much as I see Jed do, and that's something that really impresses me from him.
You know what, Udogie, he since joining Spurs, he's had these injury problems, right, for pretty much his whole time at Spurs. I think we've all been pleased with what he's brought, but I think what Jed is showing at the moment is something different, and to have them two battling it out for that left-hand side spot, and Jed isn't even like a natural left back, and I think he's showing such quality, and I think the form that he's in at the moment has been better than what Udogie has shown all season. That's just the reality right now. So Udogie is going to have a big...
I'll say defensively. Say. Defensively, I agree.
But defensive for sure, defensively. But even offensively, I don't think Udogie's really provided for us that much this year. I think he's had a poor season, Udogie, but definitely by when you compare it to last season. So I think Udogie's going to have a big task on his hands to try and remove Jed from this team at the moment, unless we might even buy a left back in this transfer market, and we'll see what happens.
Dorgu's just agreed to go to Napoli. So
has he?
Yeah.
Right.
That's off the table. Bit of breaking news on a 5 takeaways.
But look, I think you've got to give Jed Spence so much credit, and we were all saying it, weren't we, all season? Give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. We saw what he did in pre-season. He was one of our best players in pre-season. He was omitted from the Europa League squad. I mean, everything's been going against him this season in terms of the decisions that Ange Postecoglou has been making. And in the past, we've all spoken about Jed Spence's attitude problems. Neil Warnock has spoken about it in his previous club. Conte and stuff, people have spoken about his attitude problems. And it would be very easy for someone with attitude problems, with all these things going against him this year, just to completely check out. But that clearly signals a change in the mentality of Jed Spence. And it's clear for everyone to see. All these knockdowns that he's taken this season, it hasn't fazed him. He's come in and he's grabbed his chance with both hands. So I think that's what we've all wanted to see. You're looking at the way he's just burst onto the scene for us this season. It's been sensational. It really has. So I can't commend him enough.
Yeah. Fantastic from Jed. So fair play, keep it up, Jed. And look, he's still gonna have an extended run in the team. We know that with the Udogie injured, unless we sign someone. So let's just hope we can keep up this level of performance.
Number 3 is Bergvall steps up.
Yeah, and what a performance from Lucas Bergvall on a day where Bentancur goes down after 5 minutes, and Bergvall obviously gets a second consecutive start in what was an absolutely massive game. Lucas Bergvall really had to step up on this occasion. I know he's been in decent form when he's been playing cameos and started against Newcastle as well. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but this must be his first time he's had consecutive starts, right? Must be. I can't think he's ever done that before. So to do that on a semi-final at 18, up against probably the best midfield 3 at the moment, in Gravenberch, McAllister, Jones, they're not even resting players as well. They're pretty much playing their first choice midfield. And to play as he did was absolutely astonishing, and he stepped up big time. Really Roy of the Rovers stuff, I think you got to say, from Lucas Bergvall. And I think the stats again: 5 out of 10 ground duels won. He completed 3 tackles, 2 clearances. He made 1 foul, but was also picked up a foul as well. 3 key passes. 85 passing accuracy, and also 2 shots on target, 2 big chances created as well. It was really a game of he was really a jack of all trades in this one. Literally brilliant defensively and offensively as well. And the big
jack of all trades and master of all.
Dribbles attempted as well. We completed 1 of his 2. The big chances created stat is a bit skewed because it came in the same incident. He created 2 chances in that same incident with Allison, but still it was his hounding and his tenacity that got those chances created as well. And yes, was he a bit lucky with the red card? For sure. But he shouldn't have been booked for the first yellow anyway, so I think karma probably balanced out on that aspect. And the way he took his goal was absolutely astonishing, like a seasoned Premier League midfielder, the way he took that goal in the 86th minute when we really needed him. And I thought he just never ran out of energy. He looked like it was in the 90th minute, just kept going, kept playing his game, kept running. And he seems to have the lung capacity of Solanke and Decky as well. So we seem to have another one with the stamina on our hands.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's working in our favour as well that he hasn't been overplayed this season, because, we've needed someone with energy in the middle of the park, and he's clearly got that in abundance at the moment, and that's because he hasn't been overplayed.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 4 is Big Game Dom.
Yeah, and look, Dominic Solanke got an assist on this occasion, and obviously it wasn't the goal that maybe he wants or he was looking for, but on this occasion got a really nice assist in the latter stage of the game. And that was that first of all takes his overall tally this season to 18 goal contributions in all competitions, which is a pretty good tally considering people have been complaining about his output. But it's interesting in games against the Big Six. So I had it up. I've just lost it. Let me just get it up again. But in games against the Big Six this season, he has actually a really interesting. Yeah, in 8 games against last season's Big Six, 5 goals and 3 assists in all competitions this season. So this guy really is becoming a bit of a big game player for us. You've got to remember he scored. I know he lost those games, but he scored against Liverpool and Chelsea in the league. He got a double in the Carabao quarter-final against Man United. He scored at Old Trafford as well. Got an assist in this one. Got an assist, maybe even 2 assists at the Etihad when we won 4-0. One assist. So when he's had big games, he's really stepped up for us this season. And look, Emirates coming around the corner. Let's hope for another big game goal contribution.
We're actually looking at all his goal contributions, right?
2 against Villa as well, not exactly a small team.
I'm just looking at it, yeah. So there has been a couple in kind of like the lesser games, like Carabags and Brentford and whatever. But the majority of them have all come against with the so-called bigger sides. Like literally the majority of all his goal contributions.
Incredible.
Which is mad. You know, assist against Liverpool, right, yesterday. Goal against, I'm going to just read the same thing out as you, but a goal against Newcastle, goal and assist against Liverpool, 2 against Man United, assist against Rangers, a goal against Chelsea, assist against Man City, goal against Galatasaray, 2 against Aston Villa, assist at Brighton, a goal against Manchester United, a goal and assist against Qarabağ, 1 against Brentford. So that is literally all big games, apart from 1 or 2.
Incredible. And I think he's establishing himself as a real big game player, Dom Solanke. And
yeah.
I think it'll be a matter of time before he starts scoring against the bottom half teams as well. I think we've seen he's capable of doing that as well. So, look, I think we've got a real brilliant striker on our hands. And, look, I can't get enough of him at the moment. I think he's having a brilliant season. He's putting in brilliant performances. Look, I don't know if Thomas Tuchel was watching as well, but does Harry Kane have to feel worried at the moment?
Yeah, let's calm down on the Harry Kane chat just for now. But let's move on to number 5, and that is halfway there.
Yeah, look, we know it was a brilliant win yesterday, and it was fantastic to get over the line. It was fantastic to beat Liverpool 1-0, and under the circumstances as well, it was probably better than most fans could have hoped for with the win. But it is only half time. We are only halfway there. We've got a second leg at Liverpool at Anfield to contend with. Anfield at the best of times is an extremely difficult place to go to, and even if we had a 2-goal lead, a lot of fans probably wouldn't be confident. So look, can't go overboard about the likelihood of going through. It's still an uphill task, and it still probably leaves us as not favourite, but half time advantage Tottenham.
Well, in the words of Bon Jovi, eh? Halfway there, living on a prayer.
Exactly.
And that's what we're literally doing at this current moment in time, because 1-0 against Liverpool. I think we missed an opportunity yesterday to really make it 2 or 3, in my opinion. That's how good I thought we were. So if you go there with a 2 or 3 goal buffer, then you're really confident to get into the final. But with only 1-0 going to Anfield, it's still an uphill task, in my opinion. So we still got it all to do in the second leg, but it is advantage Tottenham at this current moment in time, even if it is just a slight advantage. So an advantage is an advantage. So we go to Anfield 1-0 up in a month's time, and we'll see what happens. I am a bit annoyed that game is in a month's time. I know we're going to have more players back, but these games shouldn't be like a month apart. They should be like 2 weeks apart.
Probably, but it
might work in our favour.
I think it does work in our favour, because I think hopefully not only should the players be back, but let's pray as well. We should be in a bit of better form come then, and maybe build a bit of momentum. Let's hope. Look, we know with this club, with this season, we've had good results, and we haven't built on it time and time again. So can't assume anything. But let's hope let's put it this way. Let's hope we're not in as bad form going into the second leg as we were going into this game.
All right, well, there you have it. That is the 5 things we learned from the 1-0 win against Liverpool in the first leg Carabao Cup semi-final. We've got a super chat here from Dark Sun G.
Yeah, it's not come through, has it? No, we can read it. It's just not come through on...
Looks like they've stopped coming through the comments. But anyway, Dark Sun G saying, Dom is worth all the money. Also, I love how we gave Liverpool loss in their first leg away game of the season to us. Second leg, Maddison, Sarr, Van de Ven, Kuti and Richarlison will return. Plus new... we can't actually play new signings, but...
Apparently we can't.
I'll look into that again.
Didn't mention that. Liverpool's first loss away from home all season. Not easy to
So we gave Man City their first loss of the season, Liverpool their first away loss of the season, Villa their first away loss of the season.
City's first home loss in how long? Like 50 games or something?
Like 2 years, yeah. So, yeah. Dark Sun, but then we also give Ipswich their first win of the season, Palace their first win of the season.
That's just the life of a Spurs fan.
This is Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. Dark Sun G also with a super chat says, also, as long as we draw, we go to Wembley.
Absolutely, and that's very important, I think, going to that second leg, that we can get that result, because having to go there to win is a very different psychological task. I think knowing it draws good enough, all of a sudden, I think, the possibilities are there for us, a lot stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's finish off the stream on everyone's favourite segment, and that is React. So we're going to go and look how the internet did react to the 1-0 win against Liverpool. And something tells me this could be quite a long one. And first up is Lily White Lab saying, Biss quietly been excellent. For some reason, this fan base hate praising him, though. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's true or not, but we've definitely been praising him today.
Yeah, we have. And I think, look, maybe he deserves a bit more wider praise, because obviously the praise has been reserved for Kinsky and Bergvall and Jed and Dom, and rightly so. But I think Basuma definitely deserves his flowers, because I thought he also had a really disciplined display, especially on the yellow.
Spurs Webb, the Tottenham ballboy got right into Trent's head after the Spurs goal, leaving the Liverpool player gesturing about the recent win to a school kid. Yeah, he was clearly... I mean, a few Liverpool players were rattled by the end of this game, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely rattled. He wasn't happy about that. Yeah, look, clearly you can see that that's obviously just after we scored, but they weren't happy about it at all. Probably as well rattled a bit that Bergvall was the one who scored it. But I love it was a ball boy. You can see the ball boy's pointing at him, and he's getting rattled by a ball boy. Absolutely brilliant.
Spurs Webb, Kinsky's father furiously trying to find the camera app on his phone. And this is the moment I was speaking about before. Look at Kinsky's dad with the phone.
Is that actually his dad?
I don't know.
But that was his sister. But yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know. He didn't seem to acknowledge him. So that would have been a bit weird. I mean, I didn't see him acknowledge him, but maybe he did. But
either way, this guy just can't get this to the camera.
So it's brilliant. It reminds me of that. You ever seen that one with that guy with that Arsene Wenger?
No.
There's that fan with Arsene Wenger, and he asked to take a selfie with him, and he doesn't do it in selfie mode. He does it the other way, and he thinks he's out pressing the take the picture button, and he's just not doing it. And like he's like, okay, and he goes and walks away, and he just doesn't have a picture. He just had a camera open and no picture taken.
Brilliant. The Fighting Cock says, we've beaten City, Bayern and Barcelona to young players in the last year. What is Lang cooking? Because Vuskovic, there was some comments here on from him how he signed for Spurs, and he said, Man City was the first club to approach me, but shortly after my dad told me about Tottenham Hotspur were interested, when I heard the details, I was convinced.
Fan, that's really great news. And
Sorry, so that's Bergvall, Spurs against Barcelona. That is Dragusin, Spurs ahead of Bayern Munich, and now Vuskovic, Spurs against Manchester City.
Yeah, fantastic. And he says that playing with Van de Ven and Romero is a dream scenario for him. And look, I'm super excited for him coming next season. I think we are going to put him straight into the first team. And he looks like one of the most amazing prospects. So it's very, very exciting. Is
he another reason then why we shouldn't be too worried about bringing in, a top centre back in this January transfer window? Because we know he's coming in next season, so just a filler will do just to add the numbers.
Well, that's what Ange said.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand them as well. We got 3 centre backs coming back. Hopefully Davis soon, and then Romero and Van de Ven. But I still wouldn't mind one on loan. Obviously, we now got Gray who's filled in there, but we do need centre backs back. And if the problem is, if Romero and Van de Ven come back and they have more setbacks, and all of a sudden, we're in a bit more trouble. But I think, as I said, my preference would be a left centre back that could also play left back, and then all of a sudden you've got both bases covered. That's what I think we should be really bringing in this window. But in terms of just someone who's a pure centre back, if we do that, I guess that means Van de Ven will have to fill in a left back at points. Yeah. That's what
which I'm not bothered about. Which I'm not worried. I think he looks very good there.
I guess we'd have to start there actually until Udogi's back, I would say.
What about Jed,
I mean, Jed's there as well. I mean, Jed maybe takes Porro's place.
Yeah. Decisions, but all good decisions. That's the reality. Football on TNT Sports says Spurs' last domestic major trophy was 2008. Newcastle's last domestic trophy was 1955. Both sides are winning and just 90 minutes away from a cup final.
I never hear Newcastle get anywhere near the amount of shit for trophies as we do.
Yeah, but Newcastle...
people say they're a bigger club. People claim they're a bigger club than us.
They've been up and down from the Championship in the past 15, 20 years.
Even more so, they should be criticised then. Or bantered. They're never bantered or anything, Newcastle. They stay all away from it. People claim, I don't think they are, but people claim they're a bigger club than us. I don't think they are. But they have a trophy drought that is not even far off 100 years at this point.
Yeah.
and they never get back. They're not called trophy dodgers or anything like that. Yeah, we're the only ones that have to run it up.
Yeah.
Come on, send Newcastle some.
Normalise shithousing Newcastle. Spurs Web says this is Rishi's reaction to the Bergvall goal yesterday. The reaction from the bench for that goal was brilliant yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, look,
There's so much going on there.
Yeah, Rishi Odebear as well. Look at that, Vicario. Absolutely fantastic. I'm looking at Odebear, calm down. He's jumping up and down. Look at him.
Yeah, I know. Like, calm down, mate.
Mind your hamstrings. But I think Rishi, obviously Rishi's delighted for the team, but I think he knows as well that he's very near coming back to the frame, and he's probably going to be involved.
Chomping at the bit, yeah.
So he's delighted, like, we've got a result, and I can be a big part of that now. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Where's Yamin Hook as well? He's on the bench.
Yeah.
Looking at him, he was happy with that as well. Not much reaction from Jedinak. Looking at that, he's our coach. He's
cool as a cucumber, mate.
Cool as a cucumber, mate. Ryan Mason as well. Where is he? Just trying to take a look at him. Yeah, he's big punch in the air from him. Lovely reaction from that.
Lee White Rose says, good morning. And he's just showing Bergvall's foul. And then Bergvall shushing them. Love it.
Fantastic, absolutely. Shameless. Bergvall, shameless.
Zeus says, how was he ignored for this long at Tottenham? I will never know. That is Jed Spence, man. Red Jed redemption, man. The Jedi returns. Jedley King. What a player, man. What a player.
And it's just mad to think about how excited we were when we signed him. And it's taken him this long to finally just get his chance at the club.
He literally only a few weeks ago played his first Premier League game.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And look, we know he's a guy of high potential, but you know, all these loan deals he's had, it hasn't worked out, all these different things, and now look at him.
Yeah.
So happy that he's finally getting that opportunity.
Yeah. Mari7 shows us the Son pre-match talk. Look at this. I don't even know what he's saying, and I'm pumped up.
He's pumped. Big up to Sonny. Unfortunately, he didn't have the best game personally, but look, still showing that leadership he's got. And you saw after the game how there's a little clip I did. It was on the vlog. He went over to Spence and Gray and gave them a massive hug, and it's like his two young brothers giving a hug too. It was a really nice moment.
Yeah. But here we go. The next one is Nuno's Burrito Santo. Says, Ange record versus managers with hair. Played 24, won 6, drawn 4 and lost 14. Record versus bald managers. Played 12, won 9, drawn 2 and lost 1. What a stat.
Unbelievable. The bald guys can't handle it.
Oh, it's crazy. What a stat. Who the hell comes up with this, man?
No, he's got to play bald managers every week.
And you know what? The bald managers are growing in the Premier League.
Exactly. So mate, if there's enough, we might be in the money here.
Next one is Oso Spurs. I think that's who we met in the stadium yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, big up to them. We made an appearance on their matchday vlog, so big up to Oso Spurs. It was nice meeting them yesterday. Paul
O'Keefe giving us the Bentancur update from after the game. This was Bentancur on Instagram saying, all good guys, thank you for the messages, congratulations for the victory, boys.
Yeah, so it seems as though he looks okay in that after that. Looks as though it might have just been a really bad fall when he got concussed, and probably means he's out for a week, but glad he's smiling after that and getting his thumbs up, and he must be delighted for the win as well.
Son Heung-min, Antonin Kinsky and Yang Min Hyuk after the game yesterday. That is such a lovely moment, isn't it?
I was going to say Spence and Gray were his young brothers, and now he's getting more young brothers with Yang Min Hyuk and Kinsky. You know, they're getting younger and younger, these guys in the squad. He's probably feeling older and older, Sonny, but he's becoming a dad soon. He's the daddy of the squad, so big up to Sonny. Look at that. Love it.
Luca THFC saying, fucking iconic this if we win. I'm guessing that's Bergval's knee slide.
What a picture. Brilliant picture, that. Yeah, absolutely iconic, for sure.
You know, just before we played at the stadium, I didn't realise like how satisfying it is to do a knee slide on that pitch. Like, it's so easy to do, isn't it? You can just go forever.
It's amazing. I remember I was like, am I actually gonna slide it? And I was like, whoa.
Big Dom Solanke versus the Big Six. 8 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Big game player. Ooh.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the 5 takeaways, so go check that out if you haven't seen it yet and you're watching this video. But yeah, this guy is really turning up in the big game so far this season.
Yeah. We won against the best team in the world with this unavailable list. Whoever wants Ange out can fuck off. Current injury list. Fraser Forster illness. Maddison suspended. Richarlison hamstring. Pape Sarr suspended. Ben Davis hamstring. Romero quads. Van der Ven and Udogie hamstring. Vicario ankle. Odebear hamstring. Yeah, I think a bit harsh saying about anyone who wants Ange out can fuck off, because I think...
Nah, not harsh at all. Not harsh enough.
I think, yeah, I definitely think he has his hand to play in some of these injuries. So it's a bit of a creating your own kind of narrative here. But, yeah, you can't take away from anything that was done on the pitch yesterday, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Lana says, remember when Jota assassinated Skip? Who had to get stitches but stayed on the pitch and scored the winner.
Yeah, but didn't even mention that.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Yeah,
screwed over by Liverpool, which is countless at this point. So, unfortunately, they're not going to get any tears from me for any injustice.
Absolutely. SZY Comp says, let's not forget this masterclass tonight, and that was Spence absolutely bodying Mohamed Salah. He probably went home emptying out his pockets and say, "Oh, Mo, what are you doing in there?"
Absolutely. He completely shut him out. And Salah, I don't think I've seen him have such a bad performance this last night.
Yeah.
Definitely his worst performance of the season.
And he's pretty much got a goal contribution in pretty much every game he's played in this season, more or less.
Yeah, definitely.
Yido Gus says, confirmed.
And there was he made a tweet in July of the 29th, 2024.
The first I see. The first Bergvall goal is going to hit like the finest crack.
He said confirmed. It did. I think, as we can all agree, it definitely hit massively.
Interlude Sonny saying Tottenham Hotspur won a game of football. I don't get the reference. I don't know what this is.
It's just people being very emotional.
I don't know who these people are.
It's Ariana Grande.
Oh, right.
Okay. The actors from Wicked. But no, the point is they're just being they're all very emotional in all their interviews, and it's just the joke. Yes, I think Will felt quite. I think Ange definitely felt quite emotional yesterday. You could see that.
Yeah.
Definitely meant a lot to us to win a game yesterday.
Yeah. And what a game to choose that win to come in. Lily White Rose says, let's not forget what a massive moment this was. Radu is still just 22 and hopefully playing his part in securing a massive clean sheet and victory over Liverpool can help him go from strength to strength. That was a very big moment in the game.
Yeah,
very
it really
big.
Was. As I say, my point is big with that instinct, because look, Nunes is completely free there, so Trent picked him out. You know, could have been in trouble, but he must have just sensed that Trent was going to go for the shot there, because even though it was a crazy angle to shoot from, you know, Trent's capable of it, and it was an unbelievable shot. But what a clearance from Radu, and really saved us at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the goal. So there you go.
Up to Joe, aged 18 years and 341 days. Lucas Bergvall is Tottenham's youngest goal scorer in the League Cup since Gareth Bale versus Middlesbrough in September 2007, who was 18 years old and 72 days. Impression.
Not in bad company, is he?
Not in bad company at all.
Fantastic.
And yeah, if he could just go half of what Gareth Bale did for us, then we would have an unbelievable player on our hands. StatMuse FC saying goals and assists this season. Dom Solanke 17, Nunes and Jota combined 15.
Big up, Bob. Big up, Dom. I know Jota's been injured, but Nunes,
Jota's been injured and Nunes has been crap.
Yeah, he's been terrible. But still, big up, Dom.
Lee Gunner says Spurs goalkeeper has been in the country 2 days and has won as many semi-finals as Super Duper Mick has in 5 years.
It ain't a Spurs win if there ain't a Lee Gunner mudding on me. Big up to Lee Gunner.
Alice Talks Football says, despite poor form, Tottenham has one of the most exciting projects in my opinion. Graham Bergvall has been immense recently, with Vuskovic set to join later. He looks a real talent. The boast a core of young exciting players like Morsar, Doggy and Odebear, all under 22. Meanwhile, academy prospects like Lancashire, Devine, Donnelly and Phillips I see a lot of Spurs fans talk highly about. Yang Min Hyuk has also arrived, and those in Korea speak very highly of him. Injuries, much like Newcastle last season, have hit them hard, but their goal difference shows that they're better than their league position suggests. And just stubbornness at times hasn't helped, but with a few key signings and better luck with injuries, they could surprise people next season. Look what key players staying fit has done for Newcastle United. Priorities should be a left-back, left centre-back cover, a winger, a backup for Solanke, and a possible DM like Cardoso, who has been linked. These additions could make the difference.
Yeah, and I think nice to see Alice. Alice is a big fan of the Tottenham project. She's always been saying it, but yeah,
she's more of a Spurs fan than United fan. That's the reality.
She's not a fan of the United project, that's for sure. But yeah, I think she's absolutely spot on. I think it's very exciting, in my opinion, and I know it's been frustrating and hard. It's been hurt. It's been a lot painful, I would say, the last 6 weeks, especially with the form we've been on and what's happening. But I still think this is a very exciting project, and we just got to stick with it.
Yeah. The secret scout says very good scouting and recruitment, and that is Kinsky and Bergvall with a nice embrace after the game yesterday. Hotspur reports Spurs mascots to Virgil van Dijk. Come join Tottenham. We haven't got any defenders.
That's what one of the scouts shouted at Van Dijk.
Agent mascots.
Big out the little lads. Come on.
Moby Spurs saying, responding to John Boy saying Kinsky looks like he's been with us for years. And Moby Spurs says, disagree. Think he's looked good. That's
a great quote. That's a great
Hotspur related, Bergvall shushing the Liverpool lot yesterday. Lovely stuff. It really is iconic. Davina saying nearly got sent off and then scores 5 minutes later. I love this game.
Come on. Well, brilliant video the knee side as well. Great. Big up Davina.
Harry Brooks saying never seen someone physically bully Konate like Solanke did for the goal. A Premier League player I work with said only player he's ever seen bully Konate physically is Jackson at Chelsea.
And to do that at the late stage of the game as well, tired.
And he's fresh.
Brilliant.
Troll Football saying, Mum, Bergvall should have been sent off.
Cry more. Cry more.
Untitled Snippet says, Mashallah, brother, Ange is praying mid-match.
He needed all the prayers he could get. I think that was just after Porro missed that chance. That's when it came from. But yeah, brilliant.
Lily White Rose saying shielding strength, then turn to deal with Konate and lay into Bergvall's path for the winner. Absolutely Spurs, superb forward play by Dom Solanke.
It really was. It's just fantastic centre forward players. Even like Haaland doesn't do that kind of hold up play like Solanke does. It's just fantastic.
Lily White Lab responding to his own tweet of Kinsky can absolutely play. My God, distribution incredible so far. Makes us so much harder to press. And then he takes this snapshot and just says, "Wow."
Exactly. Imagine Forster doing that. Just imagine he would
forget Forster. Forget Forster. Imagine Vicario doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Just being so high up the pitch and just being like an extra outfield player. And what does that mean? It means Gray can be a bit wider and be another option. Dragusin as well. It means the fullbacks can go a bit higher. So it really changes the whole play. And fantastic.
JJ Bull says, was typing something about how good Bergvall is before he scored, but boy, howdy. That is a player right there. Has a first touch like Modric. You can fire at him and he's just got it controlled. Think you can tell a lot of player about his first touch. Anyway, Bergvall is properly ace.
Yeah, and he's JJ Bull is a guy from The Athletic. He's not a Spurs fan. He's just
an
Athletic journalist. So, big praise from him. He's very impressed.
Kryl Spurs responding to Fabrizio Romano in his comments about Bergvall after the game, and he says, I think it was quite obvious it was going to be a second yellow. It was pretty clear. All people saw that. A minute later, he scored the winner. The ref made a mistake, in my opinion, and I told him that. And he responded with a small clip of Van Dijk on Solanke. Should that have been a red card?
That could have easily been a red. He stamps on his thigh. I mean, come on.
The audacity
It's
of
also
Virgil
nowhere near
van
the ball.
Dijk.
He's also nowhere near the ball.
That's why nowhere near, no.
Terrible Van Dijk.
Suffering saying Kinsky is generally better on the ball than Dragoshin, and he is.
Yeah, literally. Honestly, it's getting to the stage where does Kinsky have to pass it back to Dragoshin and apart the other way?
Yeah,
you know
100%.
What I mean?
Next one is, that's the same reaction. We can move into Rory Talks Football, and he says, you can't say Bergvall shouldn't have been on the pitch when he should never have had a yellow card in the first place. When Diaz dived, he made one bookable foul and is on a booking. That's fair.
And that's from an Arsenal fan, so fair play to Rory. A bit of objectivity there. Big up.
Spurs watch David Ornstein. Lucas Bergvall was Gerrard-esque tonight.
Yeah,
18-year-old against Liverpool.
Incredible. What high praise from Ornstein.
Douglas Critchley says Antonin Kinsky only started playing regularly for Slavia Prague this season. He signed for Spurs on Sunday in a £12.5 million deal. 3 days later, he's thrown into a Carabao Cup semi-final, makes 6 saves and keep a clean sheet against the best side in Europe. Seriously impressive.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Tom Garrett says, semi-final of a cup. Can't believe Slot hasn't played Salah against Spurs reserves. Makes no sense.
Where was he? Can't believe he didn't play him.
This was a nice moment yesterday. Antonin Kinsky's former Slavia Prague teammates watching on as he shined on his Spurs debut. So they all got together and watched the Spurs game.
Fantastic. They must have been proud of their boy.
Michael Dawson said, I've been calling him Kinky Kinsky.
Not sure about that one, my Dawsy, but we'll take it. Not sure about that one.
I think it's going to stick. Spurs pictures that go hard. Oh, that's a lovely picture,
Yeah, I
man.
love it. Look at that. Just the eruption. Look at Bergvall's face, the elation. Fantastic.
Spurs express the composure that this man has shown as a teenager, playing in a position for the first time in his career at a new club. We are incredibly lucky to have him on our books. This is an Archie Gray appreciation post.
Yeah, and he deserves all the appreciation. Gray, brilliant performance.
Hotspur relayed to say Liverpool lose their first away match in all competitions this season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Come on.
Lovely stuff.
We just love ending records.
Yeah,
we love it.
We
ending
love it.
runs.
Positive and negative. Spurs Express saying a very emotional Antonin Kinsky is embraced by his loved one in the crowd after an astounding debut for Tottenham.
Yeah, that was a really nice moment for him. And yeah, imagine that. You've just made your debut and like so quickly as well. Imagine like a week ago. Like, he probably didn't even know he was coming to Spurs a week ago. How crazy is it? And now he's semi-final, clean sheet. Like, he's probably the most talked about goalkeeper right now in England. It's like, it's mad how life can change so quickly.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, eh? Spurs watch as well. This is the video of that moment. Next up is Henna's Kinsky. Player,
this was the moment. This was the moment I knew we got a crazy one on our hands.
Yeah.
That was the moment. And he was doing that. He's backpedaling. Jota's like in on him. He's like, I'm just going to flick over him. It's like, screw it. I was like, okay, this guy's crazy. I like it. That was when I was sold on him. Because imagine Forster attempting that.
I think at that time I was just like, this guy has balls of steel.
Imagine that. That was like right at the beginning of the game. Like,
on his debut.
Incredible.
Madness. Inches says, oh my goodness, Kinsky, so comfortable. What a baller.
Incredible.
And yeah, and that is that. That is how the internet did react to the game. Some lovely reactions yesterday, which is obviously expected after what a day it was yesterday. And I think that is that. Any more chats to get through? Yeah. Yeah, there are. Is the all right? So, which one do we go to? Josh Hayden just sent us coys with a lot of S's. Jory says, Ange has me flip-flopping like a penguin at the beach.
Come on.
It's pretty much how I feel as well, to be honest. And Dark Sun G21 says, karma for Liverpool for that game. Jota scored the winner. Yep, that's what we were speaking about before. Dark Sun G again saying the difference between a 6-3 loss and a 1-0 win is Kinsky. And I was thinking about this actually. Like, do you reckon like Ange drilled it into them before this game, like saying you cannot get embarrassed like you got, and there was a bit of like professional pride there coming into this game?
Sure. And also he knows it's a first leg, and he knows if it's 6-3 and the game's over. Like, I'm sure Look, he said in his press conference, like, we watched that Liverpool game back, and there was some things we did well and some things we clearly did horribly, and we worked really hard to improve on those certain things. And as I've said, I went through the games. In my personal opinion, since that Liverpool game, I do think defensively we've been a lot better. I know we haven't got the results, and so we haven't got the credit for it. But I just think in general, I think we have been a lot more solid defensively since that Liverpool game. And now we've got the result. We got the credit for it.
Yeah. Next one is Essa El Shamari, member for 44 months, says realistically that first booking for Lucas wasn't a booking, so I think all round it was a fair decision. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, I agree with Essa.
Andrew Dean says this period proved that Ange should have trusted the squad and youth more for rotations. They're capable to compete against the best, which I completely agree with. And Dark Sunji says we have a good goalkeeper competition like City and Liverpool. Yeah, potentially even.
Yeah, now, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, it's gone even so far after one game from Kinsky. People are saying, like, is this guy going to be number one now?
I know, it's mad, the reaction. But look, it just goes to show, like, how starved we've been of, like, a modern-day goalkeeper, pretty much. I know Vicario is kind of a modern-day goalkeeper, but I still think he's lagging behind the likes of Raya and Ellison and Alisson on the ball. But I think Kinsky's clearly got the potential to be up there with them.
I mean, judging on that performance for a debut at 21 years of age, like the trajectory this goalkeeper could go on is probably like very scary, like extremely scary.
Wow, couldn't be more impressed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there you have it. That is the stream. I've been looking forward to this one since last night, but we are done and dusted. We'll be back tomorrow for Tamworth previews, so come and join us there. But like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on, you Spurs.